Well, there goes the Olympic Daverhood. Good morning, ladies. Oh, there's wax in my ear. I can't hear.
You broke the candle.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. I have very potent earwax. Here on Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful and adorable wife, here on this Olympic week where I have been crowned with both the bronze, the gold, and the silver.
The green.
Well, it's tarnished,
yes.
Tarnished silver. And then the laurel wreath that I have.
And you're like Simone Biles.
Yes, look. I'm the goat. We actually have the goat medallion here. The greatest of all time, my friends. Yes! Here on this Saturday morning, it is August 3rd, 2024. And, I look good. I am reasonably. So, welcome to the Daverhood.
Are you going to keep the Olympic flame? Or you're
No, I don't want to ruin the battery.
Okay. No, you turn
I try to turn the thing. Here we go. Oh, and the flame goes out. It's like, you can't do that to a Shabbos candle, but to an Olympic flame, it's all right. You can blow the thing out. All right, I'm going to take my crown very carefully off and hold that for later, for when I stand on the podium and accept the award for the greatest pointless podcast of all time, which you're watching. And then I'll leave
Do they have an Olympics for podcasting?
They probably have awards and stuff.
Jonesy did the thing where he did it for how many hours? That was like a marathon.
I thought that was radio.
Some people do triathlon. Oh yeah, some people do triathlon or marathon. He just was on the radio.
And you know the tragic part.
What?
When Glenn Jones of WFMU, 20 something.
Oh
yeah, a little bit of fan, please. When he was on this New Jersey independent radio station, WFMU, and he brought a ton of PR to them by saying, "Hey, I think I'm going to be on the." Oh, do you have the fan?
No, look.
Oh,
what? Shelves can go downstairs for food.
Oh, actually, yes, they could. Oh,
sorry, dude. I just had a moment of insight. How much fan do you want, honey?
Medium, please. Yeah.
You tell me if it's too much.
If it doesn't blow all the papers.
I'll reverse it the other way.
Yeah, cool. We're just regulating the temperature in the room, folks. So Glenn Jones, this DJ for WFMU, he's still there.
Oh.
But this was what happened.
Your 5 fell.
So, oops.
94,
oh no.
You're back to 94.
Back to episode number 94 instead of 954. Wow. Oops. All right, let me go put that up. All right.
Wow.
See, I told you that wind, we got to watch out for it.
I'm doing it the reverse way. Try that. Maybe that.
All right, hold on. Here we go. This is, oh my goodness. I know, you didn't know that I was a designer, right? Let's put him down here where he's safe.
Yeah, it's just the breeze got him. Maybe he wasn't taped on. And sometimes the tape dries out, David.
I know. All right, so Glenn Jones, DJ for this station, independent station, many years ago now, said, hey, why don't I try and break the record for a person who's been in a radio nonstop, live on the air? What do I think I can do? And I think at that point the record had been 80-something hours.
Straight.
Close to 90 straight hours.
They get breaks to go to the rest?
Yeah, I mean, they work it in the Guinness people had certain rules. You could take like 10 minutes every 4 hours if you wanted to shower, if you wanted to do whatever. You could get up while a song was playing, but you couldn't play a song that was longer than 2.5 minutes. You know, it's not like you could sit there and play Beethoven's Ninth Symphony.
Led Zeppelin or something.
Right. Exactly. You couldn't play Stairway to Heaven. You could play the intro to Stairway to Heaven, but then you have to get back on air and back announce it and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it forced you to be awake, but at the same time, you could get like 10 or 15 minutes.
Did you have a partner or you had to do it alone?
Well, no, you could actually. He had guests.
With Jonesy?
Yeah.
He had guests.
Now, he didn't have to, but he thought it would be more interesting radio. And also all this novelty coming out. Oh, a new person. I've got an interview. I got notes. I got whatever. Mm. As long as I stay awake, they'll keep me talking. So he had guests coming through the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he did it. He not only wanted to break the record
Yeah.
of 88 hours
Did
or
you take
something.
off the goat?
The goat fell off.
Oh, okay.
He not only wanted to break that record, but he said, I want to do 100. Because I want to, getting up to 100 hours. And he went out. He was 100 hours in like 15 minutes. He did it.
Did anybody beat him?
Well, that was the tragedy.
Oh, no.
So that by the time they were going to publish it in the next book, some like Japanese or Italian DJ went on for like 102 hours and just
But
went.
does he still get a mention or no?
Well, no. I'll bet at this point somebody's been on for 110. It wouldn't shock me if somebody literally did 120. Can you check
put
maybe?
Him online or something?
Is what? What?
Okay, tell me what to look up. Did they at least put Jonesy that he won online or something? Like,
Oh, it was a big deal. It got a ton of
running, so that's fine. Yeah.
It got a ton of newspaper coverage
Okay.
when it was happening.
What am I asking? What's the longest?
Wow.
Podcast?
It was radio. It was longest.
What's the Guinness record for the longest number of hours spent on a radio?
And the answer is?
Oh, no, this is the longest radio interview. The longest radio interview was 25 hours. 30, you got something to go for.
Somebody interview me for 20. I'll do it.
It says the longest radio interview is 25 hours and 32 minutes and was achieved by Zachary Sinuto and Colin Kennedy, both of the USA and University of Heights, in February 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's probably somewhere you can still watch it or listen to it on the interwebs. But maybe just do like Glenn Jones record or something, or Guinness record, and see if it's been broken since it's been broken.
Okay, 175 hours on air.
No.
Yeah, that's 2007.
Well, yeah, the Jonesy thing was in the 1990s. How did he not die? I gotta read this now. Thank you.
I don't know any of it. It's not my thing.
Disc jockey Johnny Walker.
That's a fake name.
Of University of Northern, not our UNC,
That's
of course not.
Name. That's a fake name.
Maybe not. Well,
Johnny
it's a common
Walker,
name.
come on, that's the drink.
Well, he's well read.
Yeah.
And he's in the black. So Johnny Walker of WUAG, the friggin' University of Northern Colorado radio, North Carolina, UNC, the Greensboro one, has unofficially broken.
Why is it unofficial?
I guess they gotta have the
Guinness
validated. Like Jonesy and the radio station made sure Guinness was there. They made sure it was gonna be valid. He wasn't gonna do it for like nothing. You know?
Yeah. No, of course I would have Guinness there too. Why not?
So hold on. He most continuous hours on the air, 125 hours, with a set that ran 175.25 hours. So in other words, out of the 175 hours, 50 was music, and the rest he was physically on, which is fair. According to the Radio World newspaper, under Guinness rules, to count as a continuous broadcast, a talent can only take it's not showing me the whole story. Wait, hold on. 1 5-minute break per hour.
Okay.
No song can be longer than 6 minutes.
Is that
I think the rules were much more draconian for Jonesy.
Wow.
During interviewers, the broadcaster has to speak at least once per minute.
Who tried that? I mean, there's somebody actually trying to try.
I remember Jonesy doing that. I remember when he had to break in sometimes when a guest was talking.
Just say,
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Also, he was 3 days without sleep. He was like, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Jonesy. Whatever. And it has to be recorded and videotaped.
Okay.
A local paper called Go Triad posted a real-time diary of progress.
Oh. Does that count? That's recorded.
Well, the recording will count for the Guinness, that's for sure. Whether this paper, I can use my glasses for this.
Yeah.
Providing some background, including the fact, what helped this DJ, this Johnny Walker?
Probably Johnny Walker.
No, that would put him right to.
What?
No, what he used.
Red Bull.
No.
Some energy drink. Gatorade.
Healthier, better,
Caffeine.
smellier,
Cheese.
garlic. I don't know. But
Somebody said if you feel nauseous, inhale rubbing alcohol, but I don't think that's true either. Maybe something like
garlic, yeah.
something like to get you wow.
And then he took an hour and a half nap, which may have tainted.
Oh yeah.
Because if you get a little bit of sleep, that's
An hour and a half seems too long, David,
yeah.
right?
Jonesy never got more than like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think the hour and a half seems like it's.
Yeah, it's already. Well, I mean, it's over the course of 6 days. Because 175 divide 175 by 24 is like 4 days is 100.
Yeah.
It's almost a week.
Yeah.
It's literally almost a week nonstop on air. That would even I could not. I could.
Oh, you could.
But when I was in my 20s, I could have.
If you had if you had a drool bucket and some caffeine, you'd be fine.
Drool bucket, and if I could nap, 50 minutes a day, I don't know.
And if you had some foodies, like really good foodies, if I held some ribs or something.
No, but that would put me to sleep.
No, it wouldn't.
Good, big, heavy stomach makes you sleepy.
Ribs?
Ribs. Unless they were like coated in like hot sauce.
Yes.
Ah!
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
What happens if you have to?
Oh, you're allowed to. You get a 5-minute break every hour.
Yeah, but what happens if you have to poo-poo?
I think you have to
hold it, poop with a diaper.
Go partly or whatever.
Oh,
well, also don't forget you can go during music playing.
Yeah.
You have 2.5, or in this case, up to 6 minutes.
Wow.
So if you can do something, run back to the mic and go, and now here's the first 5 minutes, a half minutes of David Bowie's Heroes.
Wow.
And while he's doing the tail fade out.
Didn't get it though.
Well, no, it's still under, I guess, consideration. How old is that? When was that story from?
It says he hit a wall. His fiancee, Shita Patel, said feels like he's out of it.
Yeah. He feels like he's out. She's lucky he did not die.
And then Walker says, "I admit this room looks different." And then he fell in a fit of laughter. And it's been the same. He's been in the same room for 36 hours.
36.
Yeah.
Not 136?
I wonder if I don't.
Unless I was in the beginning of the process.
I can't tell when this was made. Oh, this is 2007.
2007. I wonder if somebody read that and did 180 hours.
This is longest DJ.
No, maybe not. That's the
longest running program with the same host is 70 years.
Oh.
Folk Song Festival?
Well, that was with Oscar Brand. Oscar Brand has been on this show. Well, he's dead now, but the Folk Song Festival on WNYC. Right? Oh, Oscar Brand.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it was new. He did it probably in his 20s, and he kept the show going well into his 80s, I believe.
But it didn't say anything about bathroom breaks. I think he was allowed to do what he wanted.
Right. Also, the Folk Song Festival was an hour every week.
Oh, sure,
sometimes pre-taped. It's a little diff.
Yeah.
I've been doing Dave's Got Mine for almost 22 years.
Wait.
What? I'm not complaining. This is not wah. What? I'm just saying, it's not like I did all the episodes together and simultaneously.
Do you have to?
Well, no. If I kept this, I won't live long enough to break Oscar Brand's record. If I live 20 years more, I'm 60. If I live to 80, I'll have the show will only be 42 years old because I didn't start it until.
Somebody asked longest world record, and it's the longest arm hair record.
I'm sorry, longest what? Say that again, please, louder.
Longest arm hair.
Are we talking armpit?
Oh, here's continuous broadcast.
Here we go. Yes.
I don't know.
Maybe the Guinness Records has a site of its own, and you can look that up. Like, just do radio. Longest.
This is like 2010. Oh, he doesn't look good.
Oh, well, no, he wouldn't.
This guy 176 and a half hours with no sleep.
That's the thing. He beat him.
Yeah. It says by Johnny Walker. It's small. This is small text, but here, honey.
So this is the guy who beat Johnny Walker's.
He actually did not sleep, it says. I know he did not. Well, but he knows the rules, maybe. Yeah.
A guy from New Zealand, from Tulaga Bay, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Uawa FM. Yeah. DJ Nicora Curtis was live for 176 and a half hours.
No.
With no sleep. setting the new world
How
record.
can you stay?
I mean, the other guy took an
how
hour and a
can
half
you stay
cat
awake
nap.
for that long, like physically. I'm just curious.
He was raising funds for the small radio station, straight out of the Jonesy playbook, by the way.
Yeah.
The previous Guinness record was, so Johnny Walker did get the official record, but now it's not in the books anymore.
Oh, yeah.
He was beaten by this guy from New Zealand. To count as a continuous broadcast, you can take only one 5-minute break per hour,
Okay.
can't play a song longer than 6 minutes, and you got to speak once. So the rules are the same.
Okay, good. This guy did it, 176 and a half.
Isn't this wonderful? So this is why people do radio. Talaga Bay's main street was closed, and the fire service was called to cordon off the town so locals could use the area as a party.
Oh.
250 people showed up to celebrate. Shortly after the celebrations, Curtis went back to attempt to go to 200 hours, but he couldn't make it.
Of course.
He was too tired.
He's going to attack a car. He's going to die.
When he did that half-hour dance at the party, that took him out.
That would have been like, should have just made an appearance, stood on stage, said thank you, and went back.
So stood on stage and went,
the room looks very different.
Why are you yellow?
Welcome to Russia or something, right?
And I guess the programming director Dexter Waru said he passed the record. That was our goal, and he's put Talaga Bay on the map.
Yes.
He has. Isn't this wonderful? It was to raise money for the East Coast station.
Oh, no, what?
No, the man. Yeah. I mean, this is New Zealand. The man spent more than a week not sleeping on the radio to raise money for this radio station. And he got $5,000.
Wow. Yeah, but that might have been a lot when he did it. When did he do it?
I don't know how much money it costs to run a radio station, but you figure everyone at the block party, 250 people could have given like $20 a piece and hit that goal. Oh no. He did not have a single coffee.
Wow.
He said he drank water to stay hydrated.
That's smart.
And
he did it healthy.
Yeah, and as in the FMU thing, he had like people at the radio station helping him out, like the programming director really looking out for him, making sure he wasn't breaking the rules, guiding him.
No, you're all loopy.
Literally a guy whispering in his ear, Jonesy did, say, talk now.
Oh, wow.
You're entering the guy, talk.
That's good.
Yeah, to make sure, because it's so easy to get lost.
To get blurry. So is he now the record? When did he make that record?
Well, you said this was 2010.
Let me see.
Did anybody beat Nicora Curtis?
I hope not.
I'll bet somebody went for 200. They had to have.
Look at it.
And then they died.
You gotta see his picture here.
It's kind of hard to.
It will make it bigger.
Yeah. But no, God bless him. No, he's exhausted. But he did it.
Here, look at him.
He made the effort and he did it. And now the funny thing is, it makes Jonesy's 100. What, 100? I could do 100.
Look at his face.
Wait, I lost it.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Oh no, David.
How
do you do that with your phone?
Because when I take it from you, my finger touches the telephone and it goes into a different thing. Nicora Curtis is the guy's name. Nikora, Curtis. I know. I was gonna say I don't know how we got on this, but of course it's been Olympics week. Not that I've been watching, not that I honestly care about any aspect of it. Probably would have watched a bit if we still had regular cable TV and NBC or Peacock or whatever that shit is. But I'm like, somehow, and I enjoyed to some extent watching the Olympics when I was younger. I loved the Bud Greenspan documentary that he did, that they put on public television, called Olympiad. I've not been able to find it anywhere on the web or on a DVD thing, but it's a marvelous thing of watching these classic great Olympians and their stories and their backstories, and Jesse Owens, and my favorite name ever, Abebe Bikila. Is that the greatest name? Abebe Bikila.
What does it mean, Habibi? Like,
well, I think Habibi
means baby. Like Habibi is baby.
Yeah.
But it's affectionate. Like if I call you babe or honey.
It's Habibi. Yeah, he was. I don't remember what African country, it might have been Ethiopia, that he was from. But he was I think he weighed all of 70 pounds, but he ran like the wind. And, if I'm remembering the guy correctly. And not Jackie Joyner Kersey, but there was another, Babe Dietrich and Zacharias. All of these people were documented on this wonderful show. So at that point, the Olympics were cool, and of course the Miracle on Ice. I remember that. That was major and fabulous. But other than that, recently couldn't really, I don't know, except curling.
Yeah.
Curling in the Winter Olympics, absolutely got to see it. But and of course, the disavowal by the Olympic organizers in Paris, where I love the idea of what they did. The idea of instead of just having the Olympics start, they literally go through all of Paris and you follow as the parade and as the entertainment and stuff, and you see Paris in the background. And we've seen Paris. So Paris in nice weather is lovely. Paris in grim, drizzly weather is like, it's Paris, it's a city, right? So I don't know what luck or bad luck they had in showing all of that. I do know they were being a little disingenuous when they said they weren't making fun of the Last Supper. Not that I care.
They said it was Dionysus, right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
I didn't see
it. It was the Last Supper.
I couldn't see it.
And it was, for me, as a lover of Buñuel films, and as someone who spends his life trying to be iconoclastic and outrageous and mock everything, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. But I can understand how Christians, and religious people would look at that, a bunch of, cross-dressers and transvestites and what do they call drag queens, making fun of the Last Supper at the Olympics and going, not watching that. Gonna change the channel. So it was an ignominious start on some level. And not to mention, at first, the officials or everybody disavowing that it was the last. Oh, it was a Dionysus festival. Yeah, it was a Dionysus festival mixed with the Last Supper, which they, I think, eventually admitted. But also just don't really get. And congratulations to Simone Biles. She's had the comeback of comebacks, in a sense. I mean, if we remember, like 4 years ago, she was doing really well. And then she had the twisties, which put that word into the world vocabulary.
What's the twisties?
She froze. She was going to do something.
Oh.
And then she's just kind of like deer in the headlights thing.
Oh, she said she took a mental health break, and I admire her.
Yeah.
It shows little girls in those sports that, they push them probably so hard to win, and they're so competitive. It was nice to see somebody.
Yeah. And I think she was also one of the girls who was sexually molested by that guy, that doctor guy.
Yeah, we saw that on the Netflix has like those kind of DVDs.
The documentaries about So she had a lot to actually overcome, and she did. And apparently she's done amazingly well in these Olympics. Congratulations to her. She'll get her face on Kellogg's cornflakes boxes or actually like cinnamon twist. She should be on boxes of like twisty. What are those taffy candy type things that?
Oh, Twizzlers.
They should put her on a box of Twizzlers, like going, if I can overcome, so can you. You can eat these horrible licoricey candies that nobody ever likes, but they still market. That would make sense to me. Anyway, oh my God, it's like 25 after 9 already. Here in the Daverhood, you're watching the 954th episode of The Day Has Gone By. Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream with me, my darling, adorable wife. Of course, we have B with us. And we'll have us with us in the Daverhood.
Yeah, really interesting guests. You've been getting some really interesting guests.
Oh my God, yes. And today, no exception, we've got Suzan Owens. Now, I met her by a Zoom about a week or so ago when I was doing this publicity summit conference that I'm part of like twice a year, where people pitch their ideas and their books, and they try to get on podcasts and radio shows and written about in magazines and on TV. So this woman, Suzan Owens, very personable, very fun, and enjoyable to talk to, and lively and funny, had stories to tell because she has traveled a lot. And I don't mean just, she went from Detroit to Kansas
How did
City.
you meet her? On your radio conference?
Yeah, as I said, yeah. So, so she's traveled in far off places, exotic places, sometimes rather scary places, as a woman traveling alone for years and having adventures and having cool, funny things happen. So, I thought, hey, this would be a great guest for Dave's Gone By. Not to talk to me so much, but to talk to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sal Solomon, who will be doing the honors, particularly because she's also a writer, has written a lot about travel, but she writes about numerology as well,
Wow.
and certain psychic things, which I don't believe in any of that, but I always give sort of the benefit of a doubt. So, and there are great stories to tell, even though if I'll chalk them up to coincidence, other people will say, no, it's predetermined, it's a fate thing, it's a real thing. I don't know enough to know. In fact, I use 90% of my brain like Scarlett Johansson in that movie.
That movie was a letdown.
I didn't see all of it. What happened?
It was with Morgan Freeman, and he was a neuroscientist, and then she had some drug they wanted her to smuggle, and then it burst in her belly, and she used 100% of her brain, and she was not.
Well, I like the idea of it. The fact that we really do only use 4% of our brain for anything. And that if we really could tap and open up and harness the entirety of if you tap the entirety of my brain, I would just write more songs about toilets. But for the average person, that's all I would do.
Is that what you would do?
Yeah, pretty much. More songs about toilets and enemas. That would be my whole thing.
You want to tell them about your friend here?
That's sort of a lead-in to, nice throw.
I thought we had a baby toilet somewhere. What happened to it?
Well, back in the Long Island house, I had a little baby toilet.
No, but I thought we had one.
Oh, we have the actual
one,
the one for that's in my closet. But so Joyce and I live in Maryland, right? Lovely northern Maryland, and I've made jokes for months about living here. Usually on a Saturday morning, the weather is miserable, and then the rest of the week it's nice. But when I get on the air on a Saturday and I talk to you, most of the time, especially for like the first year and a half, it was like, well, it's pouring, it's gloomy outside. We got all the lights on because this is the one day of the week. And you probably think I'm lying to you about the weather and how nice it is in Maryland. But no, I'm telling you, most of the time it's really great. But today, every Saturday, right now, we had rain last night. It's beautiful, it's hot, and we're going to get some showers later on. But here's the deal. So I can always tell, once you start seeing patterns in things, you start seeing a lot of animals running around and scampering and poking about more than usual. And then, weather's coming. So for the past 3 days here in Maryland, it looked like it was going to rain part of the day. We would get these clouds, even sometimes hear thunder rumbling, and it'd be humid and hot and sticky, heavy, unpleasant weather. And then we thought, okay, a rainstorm's going to come. Something's going to happen. And then it would not rain. Okay, early in the day, sunshine, fine. We figure, clouds coming. It's predicted pretty much in the forecast 3 days in a row. So I better water because our lawn just over the past summer has died. Pretty much. We got a ton of rain in the spring. So there was a point here where we got about 8 straight days where it was raining on and off all day. It was annoying, but it was also green everywhere. Every lawn looked lush and beautiful. And then we said, well, this will never end. This is going to be great for the summertime because it's just we'll never have to water. We'll never have to do anything. Wouldn't you know, after the rains went away, then we got heat and sunshine week after week after. We broken up by the occasional rainstorm, but like nothing.
A friend in Colorado/Arizona, and they were hitting the hundreds.
112, you said.
They have wildfires. They're evacuating people. Like it's not. I mean, every summer I think Colorado has wildfires.
Colorado has a terrible. Arizona, California.
Yeah.
All those places.
You said it was from Hawaii.
What about Hawaii?
Didn't you tell me there were fires in
Oh,
Hawaii?
that's months ago. There was terrible fires in Hawaii because you don't get rain. Everything's like twigs. It's kindling.
I know.
You know, when somebody accidentally puts a mirror down in a forest.
But if you're surrounded by water, can't you just bucket the water?
I don't understand that.
I don't understand.
I really don't understand how Hawaii, of all places, can go on fire, right? How do you? I mean, Arizona landlocked. I get. Colorado has a fucking river. Why is it so hard? Why in this day and age? I do wonder about this. If you can transport.
Maybe what happens is, I mean, I don't know. I remember when we went up the mountain in Pingree that the level of devastation. Maybe the fire is too heavy. It's not like like a tiny fire.
No, of course not. But it's 2024. If we can, I know everybody. If we can get men up on the moon, why can't we bring, a few thousand gallons of water to a brush fire?
Here, you may want this when you talk about it.
Oh, all right. Well, no, we were talking about. Oh, yes, we are talking about this. So
it's relative, relevant.
I guess. Well, I want to get to the point of this is that so before anything, I'm like, all right, I'll go out and water again because I was trying to water every other day.
Well, even the lady at the restaurant, we ate outside at a patio, and she was watering, and she's like, "I'm doing everything to get the rain to come."
Yeah, but there's nothing. There was no. And it wasn't helping the lawn because what happens is you can water all you want. If the sun comes out and it's 93 degrees and it's just burning the lawn in the middle of the day, nothing's going to happen. Water ain't going to hurt, but it ain't going to help anything. So, but what the hell? I'm dutifully watering in the evenings or just before the evenings. And I do it one more time. We get home from wherever we were yesterday. And I'm like, okay, let me go out. I'll spritz some water on the lawn. And I knew, I was tired. I didn't want to do it, but I'm like, let me just do it. And I knew as I was doing it, it started to thunder.
You should have begun dancing. Yeah. You should have begun dancing.
And I turned out like,
Yeah, you and Bob. You and Bob got some good dance moves going.
And I was like, of course it's going to rain. I'm watering. This is the Jewish thing. And it was like, if I hadn't watered, we'd still be in a terrible drought.
It wasn't a lot of rain.
Well, yesterday was the first good.
But at least the watering and the rain together could do something.
Yeah, well, I figure it made me feel good in the sense that at least the parts that I watered, the ground was softened up, so that when the rains really came, it wasn't just going onto like a flat, hard, rock-like ground, but it would, it softened up enough to actually go in and get some of those new grass roots.
Why don't we get you a squirter for the hose?
Yeah, we gotta fix that and get that. But so I'm like, oh, okay, yay! Even though I wasted a half hour yesterday watering, it made me feel good. Oh, more rain. Yeah. It'll get the backyard too. Fantastic. Yeah. But I also sensed that when we saw, a lot of bunnies in the yard and stuff and squirrels, and then I was sitting in the backyard yesterday evening, or early, it was still light out, I guess, and I saw a deer. And I called you up. I was like, hug a deer, big deer, right? And it's like deer didn't really stick around long. Because that's what they do. We have a backyard, and the deer will come through and saunter, eat some of our leaves.
They're on their commute. It's their commuting.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like they're stopping at St. Albans.
Yeah. They're like, okay, we're at the platform. Okay, let's go.
First 4 cars, squirrels only.
Yes, exactly. Does and then bucks and then, deer families. So
I call you around because we haven't seen a deer in a few days, and this beautiful deer fairly near like my window. I was like, come. So, my wife comes in and we see the deer moving, and then another deer behind him. Yeah. And we're like, and these are not the little fawn. These are medium sized.
They're the ones that don't have spots, so they look different. I don't know the name of them.
Well, they're grown, and I think they lose the spots.
It's a different kind of deer, though. Yeah. There are several types of deer we have. Yeah.
Yay. So now the second deer follows the first one, walking slowly, going from our yard into our neighbor's yard. Fine. Yeah. And now we have the third deer, like a whole family, like 3 sisters or brothers, whatever they are. A third deer comes right behind them. But this deer does not follow as the others are walking into our neighbor's yard. So I'm like, oh boy, this one's really giving us a show. They're kind of hanging out. I think they're going to eat some of our grass, eat some of the leaves on our bushes, and probably kill some of our bushes too. And my wife is watching with me, and she's the first one who goes, "Oh no!" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Oh no!" And the deer does what we usually find on the lawn, and we know that deer have been there. So the deer turns and gives us a really great view of its backside. And we've known to look for this because we've seen this before.
I think it was a Sika deer.
Oh, I've never heard. What does it look like?
Looks like the elk family. Yes,
It's straight brown,
Yeah.
not much coloration or marking.
See, I don't know. It didn't look like a deer.
Oh, it looked like a deer to me. But so this deer turns, faces away from us.
See, it looked like this one.
Yeah.
That's a whitetail. Did it look like?
Yeah, it's a white. They usually have white. The deer. Yeah. They're so alike, all these different kinds. So could have been. These are bigger, but yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. I literally didn't touch it. It went white. I don't know what the hell. Yeah.
Do you know how to use your phone?
I don't. That's your phone. Oh no, it's my phone.
It's right here. Hold it on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Deer.
Sorry.
And it was like the first two. This is what they sort of look like. The third one stays, and it stays still. You know, got its head sort of turned toward us, and showing us its butt. And the tail starts going up. And my wife is like, "Oh no," because honestly, what's nice is we have gardeners, so I don't even. It's not like I'm walking out in the backyard every day. I'm not the one who has to go pick up deer turds, right? Which are these black nuggety things in a pile. So, but my wife doesn't want to see that. She doesn't want the deer using our backyard as its porta potty. Why should use somebody else? Go find
They could go to the park.
a public men's room or something.
They
Yeah.
go to the park. There's a whole park they could poop on.
But no, they come to our yard. So she's like, and she raps on the window to get its attention, which in one way spared us, but another way I feel bad because the deer got a little startled but didn't move.
He didn't move. He kept.
Yeah. Well, because the deer was in the middle of something.
No, he wasn't.
The deer
He was
raised
not.
his tail, and this I have not. I've seen a deer take a poop in our yard,
Oh, we've seen that.
but I haven't seen a constipated deer try and fail to take a poop in our yard. This is what we saw last night. The deer looking at us, turning his head, his ass facing us, and then we see that he's using his peristaltic muscles, and it's the creepiest thing because he does his intake of air or an exhale, I guess. What would it be? No, it's an intake because a triangle would form on the side where his ribs are. It would literally, his ribs would become so concave, it had like this triangular shape, which was one thing. And you could tell he was struggling and straining to get something out. Meanwhile, we literally saw
Oh God.
the deer's asshole
David, I feel you're a proctologist.
pucker and go.
No. Yes, that was very good imitation.
And nothing coming out of it. I think we freaked the deer by
This is
startling
much
him.
deer.
Yeah. But I found this on the interwebs. I don't think the deer had that. There was no blood or
We
anything.
don't know what went on.
But the poor deer, man, he's trying.
He was trying.
And he's in this position, so we couldn't startle him away because you don't want to be moved. You can't be moved in the middle of stuff. But he was getting nothing out. And he's breathing, and he's got the concave side of his body going in and out again, and the asshole going, and nothing coming. Not that I want a deer to crap on the lawn. I don't. But at the same time, if a deer really has to crap, and then he can't, everybody knows what that feels like to be constipated and not be able to get anything out. And he didn't. The poor son, for like a minute he's
You
there.
have to go and get some enema.
Yeah, enema or not Maalox? What's the stuff that you take for
No, that's
gaopectate?
Imodium's the reverse. I don't know.
Yeah, what unblocks you?
Magnesium. What did you take when you had the hernia?
Coffee. I don't know.
Maybe we could take.
Fiber.
Oh, where does the deer go to get coffee?
Where?
Starbucks.
Starbucks. I get it. That's right. Chock full of bucks. There we go.
That's funny.
Well, so and this deer ultimately gave up. Just it's not going to happen. You ever have that?
We have to put water out. They keep me dehydrated.
That's true. That we literally, my wife looked up this morning.
Yeah, I hope it's not. There's a thing called deer wasting. So.
Yeah, oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, the deer didn't not look emaciated or anything. Look like a healthy deer.
Good. Yeah, he looked good.
But we hadn't had rain to that point in a very long time. A couple of drops overnight a few days ago. But one of the things that can cause dehydration or cause constipation in humans as well as deer is not getting enough water. So it could certainly have been a factor there. Maybe eating the wrong kind of thing. So I hope the deer, which 2 hours later was raining.
Maybe he ate junk foodie.
That could be.
We could go, if we go to the grocery store, we can see if they have any deer...
a deer laxative.
Deer laxatives, yeah.
Yes, deer relax.
Maybe he just finished, he was getting his colonoscopy, and he couldn't have food.
Oh.
And he was, and he already did it, and he was still trying to do it.
Yeah, he's still, you know how you've gone, you feel like there might be a little bit more, but there's not enough.
Or maybe he knew your fixation. I mean, of all the yards to do that.
I know.
No one needs to see that.
No, you will not, neither my wife nor I will ever forget the asshole.
No, it was so pink. Oh.
It's not even like a cat's ass. It's smaller. It was like a round little puckery thing.
Yes.
If I was a different kind of person, I'd say it was almost cute, but it wasn't.
It was not cute. There was nothing. Well, it was kind of cute. I mean, the deer was cute.
The deer was beautiful, of course.
We didn't see that. It's like, I guess that's the hard part about being a vet. You got to do that kind of stuff.
That wouldn't bother. The thing about being a vet would just be fear of bitten.
The temperature of the butt.
No, that fear of being bitten. That would be the one thing that would really keep me from being a veterinarian. Is just like you never know.
You're gonna get bit. That's why they muzzle. Like our shepherd bit. She was rescued. We rescued her, and the vet tried to turn her over on her back. And this dog was the most docile, but she was like, "Oh heck no!"
Right.
Because the dog felt threatened, and she just nipped. And then the next time we said, "Do you want the muzzle?" And the vet's like, "No," because we know what happened. We put her in that position, like it's. Oh
well.
But.
Well, I'm sure it happens once a week.
I mean,
or some ferret.
Or scratching of the accent. So, but that's the job. I mean, if you work in the ER, people are gonna beat you up.
Yeah.
I mean, like people come in, they're out of their head or they're in pain. Every job has risks.
Oh, I had a student. Obviously, I won't mention names. Last year or 2 semesters ago, who was one of her jobs was in emergency. And oh my God, holding someone down. They don't know where they are. They're on drugs.
I had a student. Now she's got her nursing degree, but she worked with people with end-stage Alzheimer's.
Oh.
And one day she came in and she had strangle marks on her throat. And of course I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, it's just the patient, right?" So.
No, she was. It was actually rough sex.
The person was aggressive. I mean, it's scary. So I mean, you don't realize. You think, "Oh, it's a job," But sometimes these jobs, I think people get.
It's more than a job. It's an adventure.
No, I think people get,
But here, my wife wanted me to show this book that we found at wherever it was. Oh, it was Barnes & Noble, I think, when we were in New York. It's The Runaway Butt. I'm looking good. What, babe? Oh, Tony. Hello, Tony. Good to...
that was a Target.
Oh, that was a Target, yeah. Dan's Runaway Butt.
I don't know how that could... Let me look it up. I'll see what the book's about.
Yeah, please.
I mean, how could your butt run away? I don't think that's possible.
It makes an escape.
You are drooling on everything.
I am. I'm very juicy today, yes.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to need more water, because I don't want to get constipated.
I don't think you're at risk of that.
Anyway. Oh, I haven't even... So I said, Suzan Owens going to be guesting with us with Rabbi Saul in just a little bit. Plus, we'll have Greeley Times. Plus, we'll do Bunyan Watch. Plus, we'll have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to Aroya, Colorado. Not Arroyo, which would make sense. No, there's a town called Aroya, Aroya, Colorado, and I've written a poem
Honey.
about it. Yeah,
Just don't change the screen. Just.
and we may have Rabbi Saul doing more of the octopus book. I'm not sure. All right, I'm gonna read this.
This is about the runaway butt.
Oh no, there's trouble at the house of everyone's favorite character from the best-selling "I Need a New Butt" series. It's a children's book here. His dad's butt has blown off. Where has it gone? Will it come back? Get ready for lots of laughs.
The kids must love that, you know.
I would have. You know how many copies of that book I would have bought when I was like 10 years old, or 20, or 40, or 58? Oh my God! Of course, absolutely.
Here's the book. You wanna?
Oh, show me. This is. Oh, it's pretty.
You can read them, yeah.
So these are some.
That's the book. That's the book itself.
Yeah, no, I can't read the writing yet, but here we go. An explosion, a blast. I can't. Even with this too small. Something has happened, and it happened real fast. Yeah,
That's adorable.
it is. Okay, maybe we'll go and get the book today.
Oh, we can get it from the library, right?
Oh well, yeah.
The book's only $8. I mean.
Yes, we gotta get all the Butt series books.
Apparently, it's who wrote it? I'll tell you in a second.
They should combine.
Oh, it's out of stock. I'm sorry.
Oh no!
It's Don McMillan.
And it's not published by Macmillan. Go figure.
No, it's Don McMillan.
But they should actually merge that with the Captain Underpants book. So you have the butt in the underpants, and then they won't go wandering. That would make total sense, wouldn't it? Would. I think it would.
So,
yeah.
Oh.
What? Uh-oh.
You gotta get the. Yeah, I think you gotta read these. I'm gonna take her bio and send it to you.
Yeah, Macmillan. What was it? What was her first name?
I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Oh. It's a problem.
She writes these in her garden by the sea. That poor woman.
By the sea, by the sea, by the dutiful sea, because that's where the butts go. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, you're watching Dave's Gone By. What else happened this week? What else is worth mentioning and talking about? I'm gonna. Whether my mom is watching live or she'll be watching later on, or once the show is recorded. This is for her.
What?
This is for her. On this week, like a day or two ago,
Yeah.
the Sacramento Slayer died.
What's that?
He's this 80-year-old guy. He was 80 years old.
Name?
Huh? What? Sorry?
Is it a band?
No, it's a guy. His nickname was a Sacramento Slayer, and he was on death row, kind of like these guys that we can't seem to kill from 9/11. But this guy on death row, 80 years old, he had suffered unbelievable abuse from both parents as a child.
Yeah.
So he became a killer of prostitutes, murdered them brutally, strangled them,
Where, in
killed them,
California?
raped them. Sacramento, yeah.
What does it have to do with your mother?
Well, the guy's name is Morris Solomon Jr.
Oh, it's your grandfather.
That was my without the junior. My grandfather's name was Morris Solomon.
Thank goodness the guy who's junior.
So I don't think my grandpa, who was like this rail thin Jewish, but little man, and a chess playing addict.
Well, you never know. We watch it. Remember the serial killers we see? They look like, hey, I'm an average guy,
No, wait, did he have a baby? Did my grandpa have a baby by a black woman?
You never know.
Because Morris Solomon Jr.
How do you know?
That's what I'm saying. We don't know. We don't know.
You have to go on like an ancestry program, or they could take the DNA if any of family members are alive. You could do some DNA sampling.
But if you saw this, the literal physical opposite of what you would think a Morris Solomon looks like. Not to mention what my grandpa on my mother's side, Grandpa Morris, looked like. But Morris Solomon Jr. was like this 300-pound black man on death row, murdering women, raped by his parents and beaten and just the worst possible life, turning into the worst possible excuse for a human being. Morris Solomon Jr., namesake. Because there have been other David Lefkowitzes. There's a ton of them.
There's a doctor, right? There's Cantor.
There's a Cantor, a doctor.
Musician.
This fucking musician. He has the website that I always wanted. Because I got, DaveLefkowitz.org. It's like, I think DavidLefkowitz.com or DavidLefkowitz.org belongs to this musician. He's entitled to it. It's his name. He hasn't really changed it much, but he keeps it up. He keeps renewing the thing, even now when nobody really wants to buy a .com anymore. But it's sort of like, you fucker. Like, how dare you? How dare you deprive me of the one other website that should be mine? Can you check DavidLefkowitz.com on there? Yes, I am complaining now. Joyce is doing the baby complaining noises. See, because I own one of them. DavidLefkowitz.com, I think belongs to. Yeah. I can probably do it on here.
I'll do it. What is it?
DavidLefkowitz.com.
How do you spell that?
See if that goes to me, or if it goes to some guy who teaches music theory or something. And I have nothing against the guy. And I think I even tried to contact him at one point to sort of say, can I have yours? It's like, no, I'm using it. Is it? That bastard. That rat bastard. David S. Lefkowitz. Right now I gotta see it. DavidLefkowitz.com. And it's him. It hasn't loaded on your thing yet. Yeah, and he's got the Jew-fro look. Now, and he's younger than I am, which means I'm gonna die before I have a chance to get at his website. But look at it. Look, copyright 2014, site under construction.
Wow. Yeah.
You give it up! You haven't changed the website in 15 years.
He's a chair at UCLA. He's not going nowhere.
No, they're physically okay, but yeah. Look at this. A new song composed in 1993. There's nothing new about it.
Wow.
His last new composition on here is 2008.
Oh, he looks like you.
He doesn't really look like me. He doesn't look like. He's cute, but he doesn't look like me. You, contact and bio. I should call him and leave nasty messages on his voicemail. And you thief of websites, you.
No, go and rate your professors and that.
And it's not even a secured website. I should hack the thing.
You can't hack, David. You can't hack a website.
No. If you go to davidlefkowitz.org, you get my site. You really do. If you go to davelefkowitz.org.
I thought you were going to go to that hot dog eating contest, weren't you?
Oh.
I thought you were. Didn't you sign up? I thought you signed up as a contestant.
Well, our local shul has done this. And by the way, davelefkowitz.org also goes to my own site. But, yeah. We got our newsletter and a special announcement from the synagogue that we used to go to when my wife and I were living in northern Colorado. And they're having, once again, their annual kosher hot dog picnic.
Are they having an eating contest?
No. She just referenced Joey Chestnut
okay.
to say, hey, he's not the only one who can eat a lot of hot dogs. Come to our kosher hot dog picnic. And just the idea, because they've been doing this for a few years, and now I need to find it. Now, speaking, this is a great segue here before we bring our guest on.
What time? Yeah, you're
10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, 5 minutes, yeah.
When the temple started doing these kosher hot dog picnics, I think when we were still living in Colorado, but somehow we missed it.
We never went to it. Well, I don't live either.
I love the idea so much that I wrote a song about it, and I never actually played it for the rabbi or for any. I never actually recorded it, unfortunately. But I did get so inspired by the idea of our shul having a kosher hot dog picnic. It's a cappella. I'm going to do a little bit of the song. I can't help myself because you brought it up.
You did a song?
Yes. It's called the Kosher Hot Dog Picnic Song.
Give me the theme. Just give me the beat.
It changes sort of in the middle, but it starts off as a sort of a folky number, like come all, come one, and let's all have some fun at the Sons of Israel Kosher Hot Dog Picnic. There's games, there's rides, balloons and slip and slides at the Sons of Israel kosher hot dog picnic. You can run a race, a clown will paint your face. There's animals to touch, like billy goats and such. So come and have no fear. Forget about last year when little Jenny Tate was beaten and raped at the kosher hot dog picnic. Eliezer Spitz was hacked into bits at the kosher hot dog. Yeah, it's basically all these children getting horribly murdered and destroyed.
It's like Sweeney Todd.
Lisa and Beth were bludgeoned to death at the kosher hot dog picnic. Crystal and Bree were lynched from a tree at the kosher hot dog picnic. And my favorite, absolute line that I love, especially because back in Long Island, there was a cantor, I think his name was Moshe Wax, cantor who was at the temple for years and years and years. So I did a line like, old Rabbi Wax went apeshit with an axe at the kosher hot dog picnic.
Oh my God.
We saw the Rebbitzin with blood on her chin. It's really, really.
I don't think any of that's gonna.
It's one of the most horrible things I've ever written.
That will happen.
The head of the sisterhood was chopping up kids like wood at the kosher hot dog picnic. Yeah.
You should write horror films.
Or comedy ones.
Yeah, like a horror, but you'd be good at horror films.
Or the beautiful line, every single child was abused and defiled at the kosher hot dog. Yeah.
Drink something you're going to say.
Very, very proud of that, ladies and gentlemen. At some point, I have to record
You
that.
got 2 minutes. Is your guest in the waiting room?
So coming up at 10 o'clock, or just a moment or two from now, will be our guest in the Daverhood. We're very excited, very happy to have coming on the show, Suzan Owens. Now, Suzan Owens is a traveler, and she's been blogging, also doing some travel writing, about some of her exceptional, extraordinary journeys across not just America. We're talking to parts unknown beyond. We're like Kathmandu kind of places, and New Zealand, and all far-flung places on the globe where she traveled often by herself. As a woman in some what we would consider scary countries, or the former president might call shitholes. She was there, right, and has stories to tell about it, as well as her. Oh my God, I didn't get those out. Can you get my accoutrements? Plus, she is also, she's written a book about numerology and the power of numbers. You hear about that. And I think she has some psychic stories to tell as well. Certainly, always interesting to hear those, whether or not I believe in the whole other realm thing. And it doesn't matter what I feel, because I'm not the one going to be doing the interview. That honor goes to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Saul Solomon. Rabbi Saul has been with us since our very first episode of the show back in 2002. He does tons of our interviews now. He's also done rabbinical reflections, which are kind of, are you okay? His mini sermons and things. You can check all his stuff out at shalomdammit.com. But right now, he's going to join us in the Daverhood to be interviewing our new friend and guest of the Daverhood, Suzan Owens. You don't want to miss this. Don't go away. shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is their old pal, Rabbi Sal Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And it is a thrill for me, a delight for me to be welcoming to the show on this Shabbos morning, it's not even July. What the hell is wrong with me? It's August 3rd, 2024. A writer, a psychic, a numerologist. I'm looking good. I like the thing. What? Yes, it looks, I'm looking pretty sharp right there. We should do this all the, I'm digging it. I'm digging it, ladies and gentlemen. But her name is Suzan Owens, and a world traveler. She has been to places like Nepal and Botswana and Kenya and New Zealand and Passaic, New Jersey. All these kinds of places that our guest in the Daverhood joining us momentarily has been. So, does she have a website? Of course she has a website. What the hell is her website? I gotta look for that. SuzanOwens.com. I do want to mention, rather importantly, I don't know where she went. Is she still there?
I am. I'm here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Oh, shalom, uvracha. Welcome to Suzan Owens. Hello.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here, Dave.
As well you should be. I'm not Dave. I'm Rabbi Sal.
I mean, Rabbi, excuse me. Yes. Well, I apologize.
Kiss my signet ring.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
No, I was thinking of the one on my penis, but okay. Shalom to you. I'm kidding. I joke here. So, Suzan,
okay.
To you, what is the most recent place to which, whether it's exotic or not, to which you have traveled?
The most recent. Oh boy. Now that has to down to the lake, I guess, across the street. But that's not very exotic and not very exciting.
Are you in California or where are you?
I'm actually in North Idaho. It is absolutely beautiful here. It is fabulous summer and all the activities. I live in Coeur d'Alene. It's a beautiful name. Thanks to the French, they owned it for at one time. But anyway, it's a beautiful place, and so I love living here. And then, but traveling abroad, the last place I went, I traveled to. Actually, I was in Iceland, which was fabulous, and very different.
Stop right there. What's something interesting, amazing, or funny that happened to you when you were in Iceland? Did you wreck your Vic? Okay.
Fabulous people. It really incredible people. The interesting thing, they don't have hot water heaters. They pump in they've got so many hot springs and water coming in from underground, beautiful, that they have hot water and they have cold water, and you don't pay for it. It's just.
Did you shower? Was it hot enough, the water from the hot springs, to shower and feel like you were really?
Absolutely. And they have signs all over their hot springs everywhere that say, do not touch the water. And of course, people do because, well, people, but, and then they get burned, seriously. But it's extremely hot, comes right out of the earth. So that was interesting to me. I had no idea. And pristine, everything about it was pristine, so clean. And the people are just as pristine as the landscape. I was really, really impressed with how kind and I want to say almost protected they were. Really interesting to me. It was like, I met a family. Get this. I met a family that were a family of 4 that she was a scientist and she got a job in Irvine, California. And this family from it wasn't even Reykjavik. It was like outside, very quiet community, small town. Just think small town and really protected. Going to Irvine. I said, oh, culture shock. Wow. But anyway, so interesting people. Lovely.
Was that your very first? Had you been to Iceland? That was your first time?
That was my first time, and I was a stopover. I was trying to get back to my granddaughter's birthday party. And I was
Idaho or where?
I know, isn't that funny? In Idaho, right? And I was in Paris at the time, and stupid me, I should have stayed, but I got on a plane. The only way they could get me back to the States on time was to come through Iceland.
No, so it was a stupid mistake. It was bashert. It was meant to be.
Well, yeah. And then I ended up sitting next to 2 women that were just mean. They were really funny. And one of them turned to me and she said, I just had COVID last week, but I'm fine. Well, guess what? I ended up with COVID. Didn't get to go to my birthday party. Didn't get to see oh yeah, it was like, oh my gosh. So you know what? It was meant to be for me to stay is really what it was meant to be. But it was fine. It all worked out. But still, it's like, no, don't try to push it. It was, like I said, it was really hard to get me off the continent. And so I should have stayed, but doesn't matter. It was another adventure. But that trip was interesting. This was a few years ago that I'd gone, and I landed in Florence in Italy, which I love.
Yes.
The art, the culture, fabulous. And this was in 2022. It was 2 years ago that I went. So it was right after the pandemic, right? And I landed in Florence and I barely heard American English. I barely heard Italian. I heard American English over and over and over. I ran into Americans everywhere. It's like,
even in 2022, when people were still just barely traveling, or that was when they first reopened the world, really. Yeah.
Right. And so the other piece of that was that I flew Air France, and they decided they weren't going to give me my luggage. They never did find it. And I traveled for 2 months all over Europe without luggage. And you know what? That was so interesting because I'd never done that before. And I'm usually a pretty light traveler anyway.
Right.
But I thought, all right, I'll get what I need. And I bought a few clothes. I had the teeniest carry-on, and I traveled for 2 months that way. And it wasn't that hard. Actually, it was easier.
But here's the deal. This is the modern world. You could have, presumably, bought another suitcase wherever and just gone to France and bought 6 pairs of underwear, 7 pairs of pants, or whatever women need. I mean, you have toiletries, toilets, and done that. But you chose to keep sort of light, and just do a lot of laundry, I would assume.
And that was really easy to do, always easy to do. And because I'd done that before when I traveled on the freighter. And then also when I was, that was interesting. I told you the story. I didn't tell you the story.
You've told me a couple of things before. The people watching this have no idea what the hell a freighter is. So yeah. So let's roll it back. Let's have a narrative constructed here. The first time you traveled anywhere as an adult, where was this?
I went to Europe. This was in 98. And I traveled alone. All my travels have been alone. I'm kind of selfish. I like to know, it's just me. So I can take.
No, it's one thing if you're not married or whatever, if you don't have a partner. But most people who do that, they do a tour group. They go with a friend or 2 or 3 friends, like a thing. But which is interesting.
No, in 98, I knew I was going to see Europe. But I also ended up in the Middle East. I ended up in Dubai. And this was before Dubai became Dubai. It was just a couple of buildings in the desert. Like I said, this was 98.
So how did you, how did you're planning to go, I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to see Italy. I'm going to see France, maybe get to London, stop in Dublin if I can. How does that bring you to freaking Dubai?
Well, I met someone in Monaco. I was walking through the city and I met an Egyptian in Monaco, and it was funny. He came up to me and he said, "Would you take a picture of me in front of the prince's yacht?" And I said, "Oh, of course, absolutely." So I did. And as a single woman alone, I love talking to people. I love strangers, and people will talk to you more if you're alone. It's true, rather than if you're in a couple, So I spoke to, I said, "Hi, I'm Susan. I'm an American." And he said, "Hi, I'm, oh dear, Abdul. I'm a
white slave salesperson, and you're just perfect for a harem that I'm putting together for the Shah of Hokmanan."
Oh, I love it. No, actually, the truth is, he said, "I'm Egyptian." And I said, "Oh, I've never met an Egyptian before." And we spent the day together and had a lovely time. Ooh. And it was just a really interesting, and so that sort of began my love affair with Egypt, and if you will, because
So he took you though to Dubai? Was that
we met in Dubai. I wasn't even supposed
to Monaco. Wait, what?
Well, Okay, we met in Monaco. I wasn't supposed to be in Monaco. He
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to be in Monaco that day. Oh, it was
Right.
divine, let me
Okay,
tell you.
but is Dubai and Monaco? I don't know
No,
my
no.
maps.
Okay. Monaco is a small little country inside France. It's right on the French
Oh,
Riviera.
okay,
Okay.
fine.
Prince Rainier, and remember Grace Kelly? She married the prince
I
there.
remember. Yes, sure.
Right. Okay. So that was their little country, and still is. And so I was actually in Nice at the time and getting
I
a
hope your
ticket,
nephew wasn't angry, but yes.
getting a ticket to go to Barcelona. I'm bouncing all over, but the truth was,
Yeah, right,
I'll
okay.
tell you the truth. And I ran into, at the train station, I ran into a few people. I heard English, American English. And again, 25 years ago, American English wasn't that common, right? So anytime I heard English, I was excited. And they said, we're going to Monaco, come join us. So all of a sudden I got on a train and I went to Monaco for the day. Well, Abdul was in Italy and he was doing a conference. He had the day off. So he ended up, we
We're
met
going
in,
also to so you met up back again. I got it. So
right.
I was
And
wondering if there was a romantic coupling thing going on there, but it was just like whoa, there we go.
okay.
You're
So
forming pyramids together. I can see this now. All right, yeah.
so anyway, well, he ended up going back to Italy and I went on to Barcelona, and then we stayed connected, but it was unbelievable to stay connected at that time. It was flip phones, maybe. I don't even think flip phones were in yet.
Oh my
So
God.
it was like, it was really fax machines, if you can remember those. And I mean, trying to stay connected. So
Well,
he
I can say
invited,
back blip, 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 what, blip, blip, R, blip, blip, you, blip, blip, wearing. Okay. Like, it takes all the romance away out of it. It
it,
does.
it, it was really a challenge. So he said, well, I'm going to be in Dubai at this time. And he said, why don't you meet me? And I said, sure. Where is it? I mean, at that time, where was it? And
Yeah,
he
right.
said, oh, it's on the Gulf. Well, at that time, I had no idea. Oh, the Gulf. Oh, okay, whatever. And I was in, I was in Milan at the time
Oh my
when
Lord.
we were trying to get this organized.
Yeah.
And I ended up he said, well, send me, oh, this is a great story. He said, send me your picture of your passport and I'll get the visa. I'll get all the paperwork that you need. And I said, okay, great. And so I faxed picture of my passport and he said he'd get everything and he would meet me in Dubai
Oh my
with
God. Yeah.
all of them. Yeah, okay. So I had my ticket. Funny story. My ticket was those red ones. Do you remember those? They were red. Well, it was way before electronic tickets, and it was and they rip off a ticket as soon as you get on the plane. They're
Yeah.
old school, right? Very old school. So I get to the airport and she said, where's your visa? And I said, I don't have a visa. My colleague is meeting me in Dubai with my visa. Well, you can't get on the plane.
Right.
And I'm standing there and I'm going, no way, I'm getting on this plane. And she disappeared, came back and said, okay, just know, and I said, well, I have a layover in Athens. Am I going to be okay in Athens? And she said, sure, I've pushed you through all that. No, I get to Athens and no, you're not getting on this plane. I said, yes, I am. And finally he relented. He said, it's going to cost me $500 if you mess up. I said, I won't mess up.
Oh, what do you mean?
Right.
Get arrested?
Well, if I don't have a visa when I get there,
Yeah.
that was the thing. That was the messing up. So I sit next to this man. Okay, so I'm in Athens and I'm on my way to Dubai. And the next flight was it was a stopover in Dubai, and then they were going to Kuwait. And at that time, we weren't great friends in the Middle East. So it was real interesting.
At that
And
time?
yeah, right, exactly, right.
Yeah.
So I sat down next to this young man in his white galabaya, the long white dress, and then the red. I'm not sure where he was from. I think he was headed to Kuwait. Anyway, I looked at his itinerary and I looked at it and I thought, oh, this is great. His itinerary says we get into Dubai 3 hours earlier than I told my friend Abdul that we were going to get into,
Right.
So not only am I going to land without the proper paperwork, but I'm going to be there 3 hours on my own. And I'm dressed in a business dress. I thought
You
a
should have
business-
taken Delta, because Delta would have been 3 hours late, and then it would have worked out perfectly, you know?
That's a great idea. No, it was Olympic Airlines, I think. But anyway, I'll speed this up. So
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared because I thought they won't let me off the plane, and then I'm going on to Kuwait. What's going to happen to me? So I get off. They do let me off. I have nothing. I go up to a desk and I said, I don't have a visa. And the young man says, "Oh my gosh, you don't have a visa." Believe me, their English was extraordinary. And that's my experience with Egyptians as well, that for some reason, Arabic and English, you don't have a lot, they don't
And
sound similar, but
yeah.
but learning the language, it's clearer.
You just take any English word and put "chuch" in it, and that's basically
That's it. That's
like,
absolutely.
like this. You can basically under stanza. Yes.
Yes. So he said, just go sit down over there. So I ended up sitting for quite some time,
Well,
and
yeah.
waiting. And finally I went back and he said, we can get you an emergency visa. Oh, big relief. I had no idea what I was going to do in Dubai at that time. Again, it
Yeah,
was a
where's
few
Abdul?
buildings,
Yeah.
there was nothing. And so he said, I'll wake my friend up. By this time it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'll wake my friend up and we'll get you a visa. So we started the paperwork, and then all of a sudden here comes this lovely young woman, which, by the way, I was the only blonde in the whole airport.
Yeah.
And she brings this paper and it's my visa, and I look up and there's Abdul. And so yay, and it was fabulous. I spent the day on the right on the Red Sea. It was so beautiful. I did went a journey out into the desert, rode camels, it was just real touristy, but very fun.
No,
Very,
this
very.
is. I mean,
This
again, this is probably before some of the troubles that we've had over there. But as a blonde American woman on the beach or walking around, did any Arab guys go like, cut her legs off, or anything like that?
Not at all. And I was ignorant too, I'll tell you, because I had a denim skirt. I wore short denim skirts. That's what I would wear. And I would get stared at, absolutely stared at. And I went into a dress shop and I asked this woman, I said, am I okay? She said, you're fine. Don't worry about it. They like to stare. They're harmless. And I thought, thank you very much. And that has been my experience, truly, that I've
But
never.
has it been in the past 10, 20 years, if you've revisited parts of the Arab and maybe even the African world?
Yes, very much. On the freighter, which we get to talk about too, but we stopped in Abu Dhabi, and it
For an
was
Abu Dhabi honeymoon. Yes, sorry. Yes.
and Abu Dhabi was great, and it was certainly not as commercial as Dubai. But no, my years in Cairo, no, I never had trouble. I never felt unsafe in Cairo ever. I was there I moved there in 2005. I worked on a radio station I was a children's TV show, a radio show I did with get this, Marilyn Monroe of Egypt. Her name is Lubna Abdelaziz.
Oh, yeah, all right. Lubna Abdulaziz. Well, all right, yeah. Was she? Why would they waste her on children, though? If she's Marilyn Monroe,
she was the Marilyn Monroe in the 60s. Let me say that. She did shows. Oh my gosh. Oh, she did shows with, oh dear, my mind's going blank, but I can see them, but major actors from Egypt and
like Omar Sharif kind of people, or
yep,
yeah,
Omar. Yeah. And who was Lawrence of Arabia? Oh my gosh, Peter O'Toole.
Peter O'Toole, yeah.
Yeah. So she did some major stuff, and she gave it all up, got married, gave it all up, and
and
all
did
that.
Children's radio.
And then she did,
even lower than this show. And there's one to do a podcast on Facebook on Shabbos mornings. There's another to do children's radio in Egypt. My God.
I know, but it was such a blessing to me. It was so much fun. And then I wrote for the oldest English newspaper, the Gazette, the Egyptian Gazette. So I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
So how did you get the jobs there that caused you to move there in the first place? Or did you move without having a gig?
I did. I was done in the States. I graduated I got my master's degree. my parents were gone. My kids were grown. They were on their own. And I thought, you know what? I am so ready for an adventure. And I got one. Oh my gosh. So, because it's different, it's a developing country. And it certainly was at that time. And I had no idea. I mean, I'd traveled the world a little bit, but not anything like Cairo. And so it was quite the growth experience. But you know what? I met people. Again, I heard American English and I thought, "Oh, this is going to be cool. I'm, hello, hi, and that's what I met. That's how I met Lubna's daughter. We actually lived in the same building and I met her and she said, "Oh, you've got to meet my mother." And that started that. And then when I traveled through Africa, the editor of the Gazette wanted me to write stories for him about that. So it just all seemed to fall together. It was fabulous. That's
why
kind
did
of
you
my
end
story.
up leaving Egypt after 4 years or whatever it?
Well, okay. So it's summer in Cairo, and the best, I mean, people say get out of the New York City in the summer. Well, get out of Cairo in the summer.
Right.
So that was really what got me going. I went back, I went south. I took a tour. I had about 10 days traveling Kenya, and I had a guide with me, Joseph, and he was delightful. Taught me Swahili. Jumbo. I don't know a lot of Swahili anymore, but it was an easy language to learn. And we traveled through Kenya. I spent days with the Maasai. I met the elders, and the women were incredible. And then we did, I looked at the migration, the wildebeest and the zebras crossing the river. Fabulous.
Oh,
Yeah, it was an extraordinary experience. And then I continued on south. I was in Zambia, and again, this is on my own because I'm not sure that I'd want to take care of somebody else or make sure. I'd probably take too much care of somebody else, make sure they're okay. But for me, it's like, oh yeah, okay, sure, I'll go do this. I can go do this.
what was the most interesting or funny thing that happened in Zambia?
Okay, well,
I didn't know Zambia was still on the map. Who knew it was Zambia?
right. Well, this is fun because I stayed at a resort. Now, a resort, mind you, all open, and zebras roam the grounds. I have a photograph of a zebra sleeping. And have you ever seen the stomach on a zebra? It's just incredible. The lines actually come together. Really cool. But we have flies that come in and bug our food. They have monkeys. And they're constantly shooing the monkeys because everything's open, right? So they're constantly shooing the monkeys off off the tables to get because they're into getting the sugar. So it was really comical to watch them.
Well, were you afraid of lions though, or I mean, lions are Africa or tigers or something like that.
Right? Yeah, lions. No, there were a lot of lions, but they'll just come. Not there. I saw a lion kill, which was pretty extraordinary in Botswana. That's another great story.
What, you mean, a human hunter killed a lion kind of thing?
No, a lion killed a Cape buffalo.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it was devastating for me to watch it. But according to the guide, it was a very humane kill because some of them can take a long time. What was fascinating about this is the females are the ones that circle him, and then they take him down, and the male came up and put his huge jaws on the buffalo's neck and just closed it. And that's what I got. Yeah, it's getting, but
now you're a vegetarian. You don't even watch the Detroit Lions. You can't. I know.
But anyway, it was quite the story. But I got to tell you about Zambia because across the Zambezi River flows between Zimbabwe and Zambia.
Oh, Zimbabwe.
And right, yeah. So right there, you can walk out into the middle of the bridge and do a bungee jump, which I did. And okay, so I was 40 something. I can't remember how old I was. Yeah, I must have been 40 and 48. I was almost 50. That's right. And I came up to the guy and I said, it was the Border Patrol. And I said, I'm just going to go out here to do a bungee jump. He said, you? I said, yeah, just me. He said, no way. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do this. And he said, well, I want to see your stamp because they give you a stamp that you'd actually done it. And sure enough, I did it. But it was interesting because you have to know that it's not high tech. They wrap towels around my legs, and then they wrap the bungees around my legs, and I jumped off this platform and flew down to the river and bounced back up. It was quite the adventure.
Do you
And I
like
did learn.
like amusement parks and thrill rides and things like that? Because the idea of bungee jumping is exciting. The reality of it, there would be poop running down my back halfway down the thing. And every other thing orifice of my body.
I'm totally, and you wouldn't be the first one. There were a lot of people. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm not afraid of that. So that was part of it that I was like, that's okay. But I did jump out of an airplane once, and that was enough. I thought, but bungee jumping, I could do that a lot. But the guy that I got to tell you this story. I always said I wanted to jump out of an airplane. So my husband, we were married 22 years, great marriage, great divorce. And he said, he gave me one for my birthday. He gave me this tandem air parachute jump.
Oh, yeah.
And my father said, he's trying to get rid of you. And I thought, yeah, it kind of feels like that.
Well, it's a tandem. If you both go down together, that's as it were. Yeah.
Well, the guy that I did it with had done it 2,000 times. And I thought, really? I mean, I thought, it's the same thing over and over,
Although the odds keep getting less and less after 2000, it's sort of like, the 2007 time.
You kind of.
You lived to 2008, so you still got kind of lucky.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But it was interesting. It took forever to get up there and then fly around, and then the thing of it is, he bought the full package, so I got a video of my jump, right?
Yeah.
And my partner, he said, I'll tap you on the shoulder when it's time to wave at the camera, because the other guy was going to come down, fly, with the camera. And so we landed, and I said, you didn't tap me on the shoulder. And he said, oh yeah, I did. You just didn't wave or anything, right? Well, I looked at the video, and he's pounding on my shoulder. And I remember jumping out of the plane, held my breath. I think I left my body is what I think I did. And then because the next thing I remember is this big gasp of air. Mind you, gasping for air as you're falling through air is not an easy thing to do, because you've got all this air coming up on your face. And yeah, it was kind of exciting there for a second.
Exciting, but
what am I doing?
Yeah,
no, but not enough. I didn't need to do it again. That was kind of interesting.
What's another thing that you've tried and you're glad you've tried once, but once is enough?
Oh, I'll have to think about that. Let me keep talking about Africa, and I'll come up with something. I think there were a lot of things that I saw in Africa that made me think, I love this continent, and I would go back in a heartbeat. And I hope to take my grandkids someday, because it's so different. It's absolutely amazing. And I drove through Botswana, and I drove through across South Africa, which was really interesting, and did safaris as much as I could. That was the very exciting thing. But I think probably I got to tell you this story. I was in Israel.
And now we're talking. Oh, forget all the African shit and this thing. Let's get to Israel, goddammit. Yes.
I apologize. Should have led with this story, because it was really interesting. Thank you. I feel good. And it was Passover. That is, oh goodness, it was busy, but it was lovely. I never ever, it was an amazing country. And I did the tours there. And that's the other thing. You do tours also, just because you want to see what, I mean, I was staying in Tel Aviv, I believe. And
you can Tel Aviv, but you won't listen.
Exactly. But it was a lovely, lovely, lovely property. And I really enjoyed that. But I wanted to get into the cities and see more. So I'd gotten on this tour.
Seymour. No,
Seymour. Yeah, I wanted to see Seymour. Anyway, that particular day, they opened up the border, and we could get into Palestine, which was unreal
Which is,
because
by the way, which is actually Israel. But okay,
yeah,
fine.
right, okay, exactly. But all right,
No such thing as
I know,
Palestine since
I got you.
1948. It's not
But
Palestine. It's just a place where people who call themselves Palestinians, who are actually Israelis, live. Okay, continue.
I gotcha. Totally, absolutely, right there with you. But it was interesting. It was fascinating to get through the border because it was very well protected and all of this. So we did the tour and I took lots of photos and we got back on the bus and I was staying. They were going to I can't remember where they were going, but they weren't going the same place I was. And I said I ran up to the bus driver and I said, I'm supposed to go this way. I'm supposed to go back to Tel Aviv. And he said, I said, well, you can just leave me right here on the freeway and there's taxis going all the time and on the highway. And he said, Madam, we are not in the business to leave women on the highway. He said, we will leave you. There is an encampment not far down the road, pulled off and deposited me with a few Israeli soldiers and waited and called I had my own taxi driver. So they called my taxi driver to come get me. So there I am standing and it was a little surreal because I was standing, there's a West Bank right there. And I'm standing there with a couple of Israeli soldiers who were lovely, by the way. One of them spoke good English. So we had an amazing conversation. Which also, I have to say, some of the most beautiful women I have ever seen in my life were wearing Israeli fatigues. I
Oh
mean,
yes. Oh my God.
stunning.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course, I had to talk to them because I was like, okay, what? And and you know that, right? It's required. Everyone does service
Oh
in the
yeah. Yeah.
military,
Yeah. Yeah.
or you choose. I think you choose, but you have to do. I think
Oh
everyone in
yeah.
that country should do
You got
service.
unless you're an orthodox lazy person like myself, in which case you get a deferment because you're part of the day. But no,
Uh,
everybody else from
yeah.
3-year-olds they give you a gun, they say go shoot. No, not quite.
Yeah. Anyway, and really, and the thing that even though it was Passover and it was crazy busy, I've always wanted to go back and just really enjoy it because I did get to go to the wall, and what you know this probably, but you write
Piece of
your
paper, yeah.
prayers on a teeny tiny paper and you push it into the wall and I'm still moved about it. I was so blessed to be able to get up to it and put and I don't even remember now what I wrote, but pushed my little piece of paper into that wall among billions of little
I
tiny people.
put dirty jokes in there. I think Hashem needs a laugh. He's really just, please, my grandmother's dying. Oh, please this and oh, could you protect my children? Oh, guy goes into a bar. I give God a chuckle. This is
I
what
love
I
it.
like to do.
I love it. Yeah, well, that was an extraordinary experience. I remember that one, and it is truly. Oh, I floated in the Dead Sea. That was pretty fun.
Everybody floats in it. That's what they call it. So much salt. It's like a salt lick with a drop of water in it. You go, but
It really,
right? Did you feel like?
it was rejuvenating. It wasn't just floating. It wasn't just
By
buoyant.
the way, it's not re-Arabinating, it's rejuvenating, damn it, because it's Israel.
That's right. It's rejuvenating. That's right. Because it was so much fun to just do that. And then so I did quite the lovely tour around Israel. I'm astounded at the country, and I love the desert. Right? I mean, I love North. Pretty much everywhere I've been in the country, I've really enjoyed. The only place I won't go back to is Johannesburg, and maybe that's different. I don't know, but I
This
think I
was
said
what era? When were you in South Africa, in Johannesburg?
2000 and
Oh, so post.
yeah,
We're talking post. De Klerk and all those.
right,
Yeah.
right,
What was wrong?
yeah. Well, normally I don't like to say negative things, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you the story. No, I'll tell you the story because I had a friend there, so that was part of why I went. And actually, we'd met in Athens on that same trip that I had to have all my past papers. Anyway, we met in Athens. That was funny, and we kind of stayed in touch. So 10 years later, I go back to see her, and uh, everything was watch your stuff, watch your purse. If you sat down in a nice mall, make sure you put the strap of your purse around your chair leg so somebody doesn't just pull it away from you. And do not put your phone on the table because that's going to disappear. And then I stayed just a couple nights with my friend. She had bars over all the windows on the doors. We were coming home one night and she said, "Oh, there's those people in the street. I don't know them." So we drove around the block again and waited until it was clear to pull into the garage. You don't get out of the car till the garage door's down. I mean, and nothing ever happened, mind you. I was safe, but I thought, how do you live this way?
Was
Because
she being extra paranoid, or everything you were reading, everything on the TV was saying, no, it's dangerous, and you have law and order under control here?
well, I did run into some people that said it's very different now. Well, yeah, you could see where they were coming from and what their background was. They're very wealthy, and that it just wasn't the Johannesburg that
No,
they.
it wouldn't have been. It's like, blacks didn't have anything. Now they want what you got. So there you
Right,
go.
exactly. So I was glad to leave it. But then you know what? I ended up in Cape Town, and beautiful city. I walked around everywhere by myself, and it reminded me of San Francisco, oddly. And it was a very spiritual city. There were a lot of really incredible experiences that I had, even just among the rocks, just being with, and I again found a tour guide that could take me places. So that's really the fun thing. I mean, I'll go someplace, but I don't pretend to find it all by myself. I'll if I really want to take something, I really want to see something, you bet I'll take a tour and do that. But I don't travel with people.
Well, you've been to all these incredible, amazing places. Have you been to New Jersey?
That state threw me. I never thought it was really as beautiful as it is. I'll say that.
Well, you have been. You've seen New Jersey.
I did. I
All
drove
its
through it.
glory. Wow. Yes.
I drove through it. It cost me $20 to get out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't do something right because she looked at me like I was nuts. But anyway, that was the last toll I paid in New Jersey. But yes, I like New Jersey. I went through a whole rural area where they had horse farms and
Yeah.
it was just, it really surprised me. I thought New Jersey was,
New Jersey. No, but we make fun. It's kind of a punchline of America thing, but it's actually, New Jersey's very, very nice indeed. Maybe not as nice as Idaho.
Yes, there you go. It's very different.
Idaho is. So, what in all your travels, what was like the most memorable, most wonderful, most exciting moment that you ever had anywhere? You mentioned the Wailing Wall. Where? Well, obviously Israel's number one, but what else would be like the Florence? Where?
Oh, well, Florence was fabulous. But you know what? We didn't get to talk about the freighter. And that.
Oh, yes, please. Yes.
So I knew when I was traveling around Africa, I knew that you could get on a freighter. I knew that was a possibility, and I thought that would be fun to do. Well, I'm in New Zealand, and I'm traveling around both islands, driving myself, and then at some time driving, and then other times on the bus. But anyway.
Wait. I stop right. One quick. I gotta ask. Okay,
sure.
You're an American. You drive. You have a car in Idaho, right? You drive around things.
Oh yeah. Oh.
In New Zealand, is it on which side of the wheel thing?
The other side. Yeah, it's on the other.
How do you manage this?
Well, you get used to it. You do get used to it. The roundabouts are a little confusing until yeah.
Oh, the roundabouts.
Yeah.
I hate roundabouts.
Oh my
God, they're the worst thing. We have them. They're in Maryland. They're everywhere. They're in Colorado. They're terrible. The guy who designed this, this is my pecking order. There's like Hitler, like Mengele, the guy who created traffic circles. Look, sometimes I jockey with him for Mengele.
Oh my God.
Aren't they the worst?
Well, you have to get used to them. And in Europe, they have many lanes that go into a roundabout. So my first time I learned a roundabout, I learned it the backwards. I went left instead of going to the right.
You're almost causing an accident, I'll bet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I never did get in it. I never have. Thank you.
Lullaby, point.
Right, doing that. But anyway, I was in New Zealand, love New Zealand, fabulous country. If you ever really want to not leave the United States, but go somewhere different. New Zealand. I
Yeah.
loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
That's how I feel
Anyway,
about Snickerhurst. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So I'm headed to this cute little town called Napier, and freighter travel is going into my head again. I get to Napier and I'm opening the paper. Sure enough, Hamish Jameson, all about freighter travel. Stop in and see him, travel agent. No kidding. So I do. I stop in and I see him, and he said, "Well, you're not going to get a ship out of New Zealand. That just doesn't happen." I said, "Watch me," kind of, I thought, yeah. Anyway, he said, called me another week later, and he said, "I got you a boat out of Dunedin, south end of the South Island, and it's going to Malaysia and to Kuala Lumpur. And then you can get from Kuala Lumpur, you can hook up and then go all the way to China and back."
Whoa.
So it was great. The first ship was a tiny little German boat, and the crew were from Malaysia. Fabulous, and that was the neatest thing. All the sailors I ever met were so sweet to me. And anyways, I'll tell you
But I
about the
don't
next.
understand. I mean, we're not talking cruise ships, we're not talking yachts or
No.
sailboats. A
Oh, okay.
freighter is a work, unless I'm mistaken, transporting work. But how do you, as a tourist, get on a freighter? I don't
Well,
understand this.
Well, yeah, travel agents, and now the big ship that I want to tell you about was through the third largest shipping company. It was at the time. I think it still is, CMA CGM. And it's a French ship. Now, and you can contact them about getting on the ship. Now, what's the thing that was so cool? These ships are built not for travel or travelers. They're
Right.
built for just enough. Well, the older style, they're new ships, but they're so streamlined. They only need 25 crew members to run the ship. So they have empty berths is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, but still, I
So,
mean, you join the mess hall for food. I mean, like, it's not set up for people who would want to go bowling in the afternoon and have a buffet. It's
no, no,
so.
okay. This is interesting because I love the quiet. You get a good book, a lot of good books. And so I had a steward that did my bedding, would make my bed, would do all of that. And we had 3 meals a day that were served to us. The steward served us. I ate with the officers. And on this French ship, all the officers were French. And on that, their crew was Romanian.
Oh,
And everyone has to speak English. You have to speak English to be doing this kind of work. Like, when you're flying in an airplane, you pretty much want your officer to speak English, right? And English is the number one second language, by the way. So everybody speaks English. And so we would sit down, white table linens, more silverware than you can imagine. Dinners sometime lasted 3 hours. It's like, oh my gosh, I was kind of at a place where just give me a sandwich and I'll go to my room. It's like, but we'd always have an aperitif before dinner and then sit down. And of course, the crew always wanted to know what I did that day, because if we pulled into port, Hong Kong was my favorite. We pull into port, and then I would get off the ship, and every time they would say, "We will not hold the ship for you," right? Because I'm not important. And I would tour the city, and then I would get back on the ship. I'd find my way back somehow, find my way back on the ship, and be back ready to sail.
sure.
But they used to spend, and the stories those sailors would tell me, oh my gosh, um, they they used to have a week in Hong Kong port. Well, you don't do that anymore, So that's what the sailors would have, a girlfriend in every
Sure.
port.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
don't have time anymore, so it's different. But every morning when the sailors would greet me, they would shake my hand, and if their hands were greasy, they would touch my knuckle. It was really sweet. They were all just, and I was kind of an anomaly anyway, that. So it was a single woman traveling alone, and that was fabulous. So I did fall in love with the captain,
Uh-huh.
and I got to travel a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
back from France and Europe. So that lasted a couple of years. That was a
They
good,
went
that
around
was
the
good.
world in various different ways right there. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Very much, yeah. So yeah, you think about freighter travel and it's not what you think. It's totally different. It was elegant. Lunch and dinner were hot meals, and
And
because
were there any other quote unquote touristy people when you were doing these freighters? Like, were a couple of the other berths from other people who like, hey, we can do this? Because it's like a best kept secret you're telling people right here that
I know.
go do this, and now everybody who's taking princess cruises will be like, hey, maybe we'll do this freighter instead. You know?
Well, it's not that kind of it's not the same, right?
No, no.
I kept my own, I'm a writer, so I got to write, which I loved. So if you want your own time, because you have a lot of solitude, I think there were videos or something you could watch too if you wanted to, but, and they had ping pong. And one of the ships I was on actually had a swimming pool that they would fill with water from the Red Sea or not the Red
Oh,
Sea, but from the Indian Ocean as we crossed it.
oh.
So and gyms, they all had a gym because all the sailors want to do that. And so there's a lot of things that you could do, but it's certainly not entertaining. And you really have to find your own entertainment. And I loved it. I loved it. Like I said, I was kind of special.
Well,
I
you
have to tell
mentioned
you.
you're a writer, by the way. We want to get
Uh-huh.
to look at it. Have you written novels, or is it travel writing, or what else have you written, or where can we read your writing? We have the website SuzanOwens.com.
Right. That's my travel book. Right. That all my well, not all of them are on there. I keep posting every so often, but I've got stories from everywhere. And so that's pretty much where you can follow that along. But I wrote numerology. I think we talked about that a little bit.
But you believe in like what, the power of numbers, that they mean
Totally.
something? What is it? What it's like?
Yes, numbers. All right. So,
Push the book. You get, it's your book.
well, okay. All right. Let me find out. What's your birthday and your birth month?
All right, I'm not going to do me. And
No.
I probably shouldn't tell this because then you'll ask for my social security number.
No. See, that's not, no, I don't want your whole just your birthday and your birth month. I don't want the year.
All right, fine.
Okay.
All right. So for the producer of the show is January 0123.
Okay, so we add those numbers together,
Right.
and that gives me a 6. 1, 2, 3 is a 6. And then I add it to this current year, which is an 8. 2024 is an 8. So 6 plus 8 is 14. It's a 5-year for your producer. So as
5 years left to live? What?
No. Numerology runs on a 9-year cycle. And in a 1 year, that's the year to create what you want, to put out there, plant the seeds for what you want to create in the next 9 years. And the 2-year is, then the next year is a 2-year, obviously. And that's your year to kind of sit back and nurture those seeds for whatever you want to generate. The 3rd year, you get to be really creative and expand it. And the 4th year, you really get to work on it. The 5th year, which is where your producer is, that's the year for major expansion and change and surprises. That's the year to take risks. If you see something, if there's opportunities coming, if you see an opportunity, that's the year to take it. Right, yeah. And it's an elevative year. In other words, things just sort of, they come to you, and if
his blood pressure has been elevated, so that's one thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that's been expanding is his waistline. So I'm not sure what you're talking about here, but I don't know. What is your number? Where are you? What year are you?
I'm in an 8-year as well. See, currently everybody has
5. You're in an 8. Yeah.
So currently everybody universally 2024 is an 8 years. So there's 8 energy everywhere. Well, that's all about management, business, being an authority. And this is the year that I've decided to launch my book and my website, wisdomandnumerology.com. And because I see that as the energy of the 8 is behind me to support me in this kind of work. And next year, there's a 9-year completion, rounding up things, and then I get to begin again in the 1 year in 2026. So I get 2 8s. You get a 5, or your producer gets a 5 and an 8. So there's different energy in that too.
Hey, this morning I made a number 2. So so can you hold up I think the book is behind you. Can you hold it up so people can see
Oh,
it?
absolutely, absolutely. Whoops, where'd it go?
Thing
Just a
right
sec,
there.
I can get turned around here.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
All right.
there it
So
is.
it's Wisdom of Numerology by Suzan Owens. Notice the spelling of Suzan, Suzan, if you're looking
Oh,
for
I
it.
can tell you about that. I can tell you why. It's legally, it's Susan. But
Oh,
the reason I put the Z in is because Z, every letter belongs to a number, and the Z is an 8. So I put the Z in there for business, management, organization, money. Yeah.
but can't you do that to any letter? If you were to do SUX, X would be what? Would be 24, would be a 6. What would 6 mean?
6 is home and family.
So,
That's
right,
all about,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
right.
but
Yeah.
right. But I already did the home and family thing. And this is a time in my life when I really wanted to have that business number, that 8. I had no 8 in my chart anywhere.
You should have changed your name to Susan. You want to
Yeah,
get
there you
Uzis in
go.
there.
I could, well, I have Zuzu. I do that one too sometimes. But and the Susan is the Z also is Egyptian spelling
Oh, all
because
right. That's fine.
yeah, what's her name? Mubarak, because I was living in Egypt at the time when Mubarak was there. Well, his wife's name was Suzanne. And so I would introduce myself as Suzanne and like Mubarak. And oh, they thought that was funny every single time. It was funny. But anyway, yeah. No, I love world travel. I'll do it in a heartbeat again. And I will go somewhere else. I'm trying to figure out where I want to
Yeah.
go.
Where is your next? Where were you? Obviously, a place you've never been, I assume. Yeah.
Well, I haven't done the Eastern Bloc very much. I'm not sure if I really want to go there yet. I'd love to see Prague. And
Prague is
then
so beautiful. Prague is
I,
really physically. The producer went there many years ago. The
Mhm.
people, the buildings, gorgeous. Honest to God, it's lovely, or at least it was back in. Now they probably painted everything yellow. Who cares? But Prague. Where else? Where were you thinking of?
Well, I did it. I was in Peru and I was in Chile a couple of years ago,
I hate
and that
chili,
was
right?
awesome. Chile. Oh, the Chilean people are fabulous. In fact, I got to tell you this is hysterical because they kiss. They kiss to say hello. And it's not just once on one cheek, it's 4 times. They
With
could be
tongue.
back and forth 4 times. And not only do they do that, but whoever's standing in the group, they kiss. So I'm staying with my exchange student son. Oh, we'll have to do another show on exchange students. But anyway, I'm staying with my exchange student son, Gerardo, and his family. And they've lived in Temuco forever. So they know everybody. So there's people coming up to the family all the time. And so everybody has to kiss. Hello.
Well,
And
this is
so
how COVID started. Yeah, right. Everybody's
I'm,
like, here, right there.
so I'm being kissed by all these people. And I'm saying, who's kissing me now? I mean, really. And then not only that, they kiss you hello, but you do the same thing when you say goodbye. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting to me, as an
Still
American.
better
It's like,
than North Dakota where they kiss you and then they finger you. It's much worse, but really weird there. Yeah, I'm worried that.
but
Yeah.
I've had exchange students over the years. My first one came from Colombia, from Bogota, and I would love to see Colombia. So I think South America would be really, really fun. I love this. I love that Latino culture. It's lovely. So
May I ask you? I mean, you seem to be independently whatever that you can do all these things and travel and just I want to go here. I'll take a freighter here. I'll do this tour here. Do you have a day job? You're a consultant or what are you a public speaker? What do you do?
well, I would love to do that. I would love to speak more about whatever anybody asks me, because I love to talk. I'm a 3. We love to talk. And so, but I'm also the writer piece, which is also part of the 3.
But you
So
get
I'm,
paid
I'm
enough.
writing,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm writing more. And I was very blessed with a businessman father. So that was a big gift to me. And he would love me to do this. And my mother too. This would be something that she didn't get to do enough in her life, was travel. So she would have loved this. But yeah, and then you do it right. You know, I have air miles. I travel a lot, and I belong to the Marriott group, so I get discounts when I stay places. So there's a lot about
There's ways
travel.
to, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's good,
yeah.
good. 'Cause
And
I
everyone,
would love to
yeah,
travel more, but do things on the cheap. You know,
right,
if I would go
absolutely.
on the freighter, I would stay in the bathroom the whole time if I could save like 20%.
Yeah,
Because I just keep the mop over there, the toilet's here. You do your business. I won't look. I'm just
right,
sleeping and reading.
right.
Yeah, I would do. Save a couple of bucks. I would do
And
it.
it's true. But yeah, for the adventure, are you kidding? I love it. And every once in a while I'll splurge and I'll stay somewhere that's amazing. But for the most part, I don't have to do, 5-star hotels every night. That's not how I travel. And it's mostly about being where you're at. It's like you stay at the cheaper place down the road and then you have breakfast at the 5-star hotel or whatever. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah. You
you
get to
know,
see both, and it's a bed for 8 hours a night. You're like, what do you need to be in a 5-star for
yeah.
8 hours? You put a little blanket on the floor, and then in the
Yeah.
bathroom of the freighter, and you're fine. Yeah.
Right. And it is about feeling safe, which I have. I always feel safe where I'm at. And I'm not stupid. I don't try to go to a new city at night. I'll try to get there by the, mid-afternoon and then see what I'm doing. But, so I watch it and I'm very sensitive about things. And I just have always felt really safe where I'm at. So that means that's a big piece of it too, you know.
A big piece of this show, this Dave's Gone By show today, has been spent talking to the delightful, the fun, the interesting Suzan Owens. Let's make sure that we know it. Well, you're actually Susan, right? Susan, but is with it right?
I
Susan,
answer to both.
Suzan Owens, Suzan Owens.com is the website where you can find out all about her and her writing. She's also got the separate website for getting the numerology book. What is that website?
Wisdomofnumerology.com.
Wisdomofnumerology.com.
One will take you to the other. So
Oh, yeah,
you're
yeah,
open.
I'm sure.
Get on one, you can find me on the other one. So for sure.
Now, the one last question, last thing that we haven't even gotten to, besides the number thing, is you're also building yourself in a way as a psychic.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sort of built as psychotic, but you're more like in the psychic realm. What's like an important major thing of that major thing? Like, ooh, I can feel and tell what's going to happen and stuff.
Yeah, there are a lot of times. I also am a medium. I'll talk to dead people. I've done that before. But that's not all that interesting.
I'm
I'll have to
very
say
into
that.
that.
I haven't really enjoyed it all that much. There are other people that do it a lot and they get a lot out of it. For me, it was fun and it's been fun. But for me, being psychic is paying attention and letting and staying open to what comes to you and then I can feel it if this is a true story or not. So, yeah, the psychic piece has really been an interesting part of my life. And that didn't come, I've always sort of been, but it's been really the last 3 years of my life is all that it's just blown up. Well,
What bothers me, I will say that, what bothers me about psychics is how come so many psychics in the world, so many people have this power, nobody called the American government on September 10th, 2001. Nobody said, September 10th, hey, you know what? Nobody called the Israeli government on October 5th to say, yeah, you should probably watch this. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm seeing like 1,200 dead people. I don't know why. So where were you people when,
good question.
yeah. So I go, that's just why I don't really put much stock in, you know?
Oh, I get you. Well, you know what? I have a dear friend, Nancy Weber, that is a forensic psychic. Woman is amazing, and she is she'll help police and whatever find the bodies, find whatever. And
You know what?
truly, you know what,
If
Rabbi,
people
that's
have
not
my
my
car
thing.
keys, I have not been able to for a week now. I go,
Are you serious, really? You can't find your car keys? Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? You have to be patient. You have to be patient with that. And you have to sit quiet. I would say you'll be able to find them if you just sat
look who you're
quietly.
talking to. It's impossible for me to sit quiet.
Yeah, no wonder you lost them. I can see that. I can see
Hey,
you losing
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Then I lost
But
the car.
I
I
don't,
one time I found the keys. I lost the car. So
yeah,
problematic life. But so much fun talking to Suzan Owens. We wish you many more travels, many more. When you go to your next destination or two, please come back. Tell us more. Tell us what you did. Take notes, write about it, and then tell us, because we want to know. If you go to Brazil, or if you go to South America, or you go anywhere, except back to New Jersey, because it's really not that interesting. But anywhere else but New Jersey.
Okay.
Like if you go back to Israel, please tell.
I will. Absolutely. And I'd love to return to Israel. Thank you. I appreciate that, Rabbi, for the conversation, because I would, for the invitation, I would absolutely love to be back. This has been such fun starting my Saturday morning.
Oh, what a great way to start Shabbos with Suzan Owens. Thank you so much. And as the Jews would have told you, shalom to you.
Shalom. Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Bye. Oh, shalom, my friends. Shalom. This is Rabbi Sal having so much fun talking to Suzan Owens. Remember her website she's got the Z in there because the Z is an 8, and an 8 is important, and it's an infinity thing and whatever. But whatever, go to her website, SuzanOwens.com. Get her book about numerology and read her writings about the travel stuff, because it's really cool things. Anyway, I'm Jewish. I'm Sal. It's been a delight. Thrilled to be here so many Saturdays with you. Want to wish you a most happy beginning of the month of August. You know, Tu B'Av is coming up. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't even care. Why don't you care? Tu B'Av, my friends. It is actually supposedly the Jewish Valentine's Day. So get ready. You got like a week or two to get ready, to get your loved one something nice, a flower maybe a box of chocolates, maybe a brisket sandwich, whatever it would be. It's coming. It's not Tu B'Shvat. I know you're thinking, well, how's he mistaking Tu B'Shvat? No, my friends, it's not Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat it's not. It's Tu B'Av, and it's coming for you. We'll talk more about it soon. But until then, have a fine, fine weekend. This is Rabbi Sal Solomon. Please check out my website, shalomdammit.com, to learn so much more about me, and I will make believe I'm finding more about you. Yes, you're watching the Dave's Gone By show live on this Saturday morning. It is August 3rd, 2024. I'm Dave, the one and only, and have been doing this show since October of 2002, still doing it every week here on Facebook. This is our 954th episode of the program that we are calling Homeowners. Get it? Homeowners? Because for Suzan. Anywho, what else do we have to do today? I think I was going to do a story time, but I'm not up for it.
Serve somebody on your new tray.
Yeah. This is my life. So I'm going on Amazon. It wasn't me. It was Amazon, and they have a thing because I'm trying to buy like an old-fashioned boombox CD player because our local library has CDs. And, it would be cool just to have one just to get like a radio CD player kind of thing. And I'm looking, and while I'm seeing that, I was like, oh, you know what else we could use? We can use another breakfast tray or two. Yeah. But I don't want it to be smaller than the ones we have. The best breakfast trays are from IKEA. I absolutely swear by them. They're hard-ish plastic, but they're not like really hard. They've got a little flexibility to them. They're big. You can use them as breakfast, dinner, lunch trays. They're really ideal for our purposes. So we have a few of them, but invariably they're never there when I want them. They're never like, we have like 4 breakfast trays. One of them is in one room, one's in the bathroom because we've been using it for something, another's in here, another's in there. So when I actually am downstairs in the kitchen, I have to bring food up, half the time there's no tray there. So let me just get 1 or 2 more breakfast trays. But I don't want to buy them at IKEA because, are you tossing that to me? I don't want to buy them at IKEA because if you don't spend like $30 or $40, the shipping is more than the tray, right? And we don't have a lot of things we need to buy at IKEA. So I'm trying to find equivalents.
Maybe now we get a bookshelf.
Well, yeah. So that would work. We're thinking about that. So,
Yeah, let's do that.
but I'm like, maybe I can get a tray somewhere else. A nice breakfast tray like this size, see-through plastic, the equivalent of IKEA without having to pay like $20 for a tray. And then I say, I'm pricing them on Amazon and eBay, and I see, and I want to make sure, because a lot of them are significantly smaller than the tray we've got. And I want one the size of our trays. And then I see one, and it's like, oh, this seems like the right measurement.
Seems is the word.
And the photo looks great. And I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a cool breakfast tray. But I must have misprized, if you will.
Maybe with centimeters.
Yeah, because what I expect it to be about yay big comes in the mail. Here it is. They put a menorah on it. That's about it.
It would be good for like.
It's good for nothing.
You could put it on your desk and use it as like a coaster.
Yeah, if you have like 2 drinks for people.
On the bottom, you could put like those little footies, those felt footies, and then use it as a coaster.
I could.
Yeah,
instead of having
snacks on your desk.
Yeah, instead of putting something directly on the thing on my. No, I mean this does have its uses,
Yes,
but it's not. This is not something that you can put a cup of coffee, you know, a peanut butter sandwich, and like a bag of Doritos on, or something like. No, you can't even pick a dinner plate on this stupid little thing. So I obviously I misread. I saw the numbers, but I misread what was inches versus.
You shouldn't feel bad because I'll tell you, like, there are a bunch of people who think they're getting a chest of drawers or like a bureau, but it's dollhouse size.
Yeah.
So it's very common. It's not like.
You see the photo. The photo looks right, about right. And then you look at the numbers without the.
A picture of somebody holding it.
Yeah.
That's usually the.
So waste of. I mean, it was a waste of like $1.50, but it was.
Well, you could use it for something, just not.
And the only reason I bought it was I was going to buy the CD player, and the CD player won't ship for free unless you add it like $1.50. So
it's good for some stuff, just not what you wanted.
Yeah, not.
Maybe it's good for serving a cocktail, or maybe just like a soda or like a tea.
Yeah, if I were.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that would be. Or like that's what they put the check on when remember when we went to Little America.
Yeah.
That's where they put your check.
Well, right. You can hold it. Sir? Yes. Okay. Here. Yeah. This is even a little small for that. Those check things probably come out from about here and here below. Not quite.
No.
All right. So. Oh well.
Just be thankful you didn't pay like hundreds of dollars for a bureau and get a tiny one.
Oh, that would be like. Yeah.
Or a dress and get a tiny one.
Because even if you had to return it, you still have to return the friggin' bureau.
Well, it's tiny. It's like this big.
Well, actually, it's easier to return. Oh my God.
You want me to go check the word of the day?
Yeah. Oh, where's your phone?
No, I can't. I have to do it on my. I'll check it 1 second.
So I figured we haven't done this in a few weeks now. We're going to be doing the Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We're going to go do Friends of the Daverhood and maybe talk about some other stuff on the show. And we haven't done Greeley Times yet. But one of the segments that we have been doing for a couple of years now is called Dave's Big Dick Dictionary. And it basically involves finding a random word that I then have to talk about off the top of my head. I can talk funny or serious or whatever, but it's just whatever the word brings into my mind extemporaneously I have to converse about for a couple of minutes on the show. Kind of a fun thing. And then for the first years that we were doing it, we would get it out of this book.
I'll see if it's in here.
Or out of a dictionary. But now Merriam-Webster itself posts a daily word of the day, kind of randomizes it. So we go to them. We say, hey, okay, Merriam-Webster, I'll do your word. What word are you giving me? So it scares me now that My wife has to look in the dictionary even to find this word.
Here's the word.
Oh, good. Okay, let me. So the word of the day. Which one are you pointing at?
It's Parry.
Oh, not too bad.
Maybe.
Okay, so the word is parry. Parry, the verb, P-A-R-R-Y, to ward off a weapon or blow.
I've never heard of this word. Have you?
Oh, sure. It's a fencing word. You thrust and then you
it's
parry.
a fencing word. Okay, let
Yeah.
me see.
Ward off a weapon or blow to evade, especially by an adroit answer. Yes.
There's also Parry-Romberg syndrome.
What is that?
I don't know. Oh no.
Why can't we see?
Okay.
Let me show the people so that.
I don't think you want to show the.
Is this one? Parry-Romberg syndrome, a rare disease in early childhood, progressive shrinkage, and degeneration beneath the skin. He doesn't really look so bad, but that fella.
It's progressive, so maybe when he's a young one, maybe they fixed it.
I hope Progressive Insurance covers this.
I don't know.
Oh.
I never. Maybe
Parry-Romberg.
that's probably the name of the doctors.
Yeah.
Well, probably the name of the doctor, Parry-Romberg. They probably
Yeah, they were the ones who found it and figuring out what it
between
was.
5 and 15.
Oh, that's sad. But I'm not going to be talking about Parry-Romberg syndrome or Sigmund Romberg syndrome, where you sing in operetta style. No, we're just going to have the word, and I'll do it a little bit later, so I have a moment to think about it. But parry is, as I said, it's kind of evading a blow, or when somebody says something sarcastic, you fend off.
Fencing. Show how
Like,
they do it.
here.
Oh no, wait! I'm going to give you something better.
This is kind of this is the thrust. Here's the,
thing to
oh,
do this.
hold on. Oh, yes,
Oh, wait, hold on. These
the
are falling all
drumstick
already.
thing, right? Yeah. Uh-oh, is it not going on?
No, I forgot how to do it.
Yeah. Check this out. So here, if you can get on camera, you can thrust.
I don't know what that means. Okay.
Parry, parry, parry. Aha, 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 aha. It's sort of the defensive move. It's like warding off the thing that's coming at you. Oh, you okay? Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Where's the music?
I just stabbed my wife. It's horrible. Oh.
Let's see. I'll just have the music and you go around. You just swing your sword.
Or if I did this in a wheelchair, you know who I'd be? Parry Mason. See? Back at you. Yeah. So this is the whole idea of thrust and parry.
I got it.
So that is going to be the Dave's Big Dick Dictionary word of the day. Let me turn this. I got. Okay, cool. Thank you. Word of. Oh, yours is still on, I think.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Cool. So I'm going to talk about that.
Fencing. How did you know that?
Well, I've never fenced in my.
Oh, here's my phone.
Never fenced in my life, but I knew thrust and parry. It's sort of the opposite. This is how you counter a thrust. Women I've been with, they just close their legs. But thank you very much.
Fencing?
Yeah. Give it a look. Actually, let's see if you have a video or a thing of a person fencing. Thrust. Here we go. A defensive move using the blade to block or deflect.
So you did good.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard of the word. As a matter of fact, remember years ago when you were in perimenopause?
I don't understand.
What?
He's like.
Yeah, because you're like it's sort of a shield. You're defending yourself. There it is. Like whoa. Or here's lunge.
I don't understand what he's doing.
Yeah, parry is kind of like I'm not understand. So you're kind of hanging.
Yeah, like
I don't know what the hell he's doing. It's just like doing a split.
It's like he's having a seizure. On guard, prêt,
Okay.
foil, épée, serré. Fencing positions.
Usually fencing positions, you're holding up the thing and pounding it into the ground.
It's called
And you
what?
have to do another one. Yeah.
I don't understand the.
Well, yeah, like any sport, it's got its rules, it's got its things, it's got its moves.
It's all these ones. Like, look at that. That's too
Oh
much.
wow! Let me show that. That's
I don't know,
important.
That's a lot of. I guess it's a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, it's all these different ways depending on how the other person's sword is coming at you. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to see from these sketches on the.
Yeah, well,
There we go. That's better. Yeah. Any particular way that's going to block somebody taking a hack at your leg or your arm or your masked face, you know?
I'll put the word parry in your comments.
Thank you very much. Here's your phone. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's do,
we do Greeley and crimes in all time.
we haven't done Greeley crimes in all times. Let's do it.
Let's
do it.
It's up to you if you want to do it. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah. So Greeley Times is a segment that we've been doing for a long time now because my wife and I lived in northern Colorado where the
You
news...
should see if any other newspapers do it.
I've tried. I've
They
seen...
don't.
I wouldn't know what they
Like
would
a
call it.
hometown, like maybe historic events. It happened here when.
Yeah.
That kind
It's
of.
not easy to find because, even here, even in the Tribune, it's called Cop Log. So
Oh,
look for
maybe-
Cop
yeah,
Log and
yeah,
other
yeah,
kinds
no.
of things. But no, I would love it if other states
Yes.
had like the
You have to
rundown.
get like maybe smaller papers in smaller cities, you
Like
know?
Police Blogger Funny.
Yeah.
Maybe, I
something.
should probably Google that. Police Blogger Funny.
Yeah.
And see what comes up. But at least the fine folks at the Greeley Trib are still compiling these. And every week, funny phone calls come into the police department.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
And they're public record.
Do you see my other thing? This one?
No, I don't know. What happened to your
Can't
other...
use that. Is it under my butt? No.
I don't know what happened to... Oh, it's here. It's here. It's here.
Thank you.
Ta-da!
You were
Okay.
using that?
No, I don't know how it wound up. I think I was parrying with it. So, in Colorado, they strip the identifiers of these phone calls that come into the police department, but they publish what actually the call was about, and the funniest ones make this weekly column in the Trib. They call it Cop Log. We call it, Greeley Times. Suddenly it's not wanting to do this for me. Thank you. There we go. Oh my God, I can't believe the phone is ringing already. Oh, let me grab the chicken phone. I gotta grab the other chicken phone. Let me see if I can grab that third chicken phone. Here it is. We have, oh my God, fourth chicken phone. It's a banner day for news. I better use this one. Hold on. Hello. Hello, or where are you calling from, sir? All right, a caller at 23rd Avenue. He said he heard a man in a car, and I'm not sure if we did this one last week and they're calling again, but a man in a car parked next to him at a stoplight say, quote, "It's not like I'm going to kill someone." And then the caller said the man also had a gun on the dash of his car.
Uh-oh.
So he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna kill someone.
That's really awkward.
The guy in the back seat,
That's
gonna.
That's an appropriate call to make.
Yeah, it really is.
An appropriate call.
Yeah, that's assuming he's not dreaming what he just saw. Yeah. Oh, I'll get this. This is one of my favorite things. It's an awe alert.
Oh.
This is the kind of story that makes you go, oh.
Or it makes you go, wait.
So get ready to hear this and go, aw. This is a phone call that came into the police department. A caller on 35th Avenue reported a mother duck and her ducklings stuck in a corner. Police came and an officer walked Mama Duck and her babies back to the park.
How do you get stuck in a corner?
I have no idea. Ducks are not the brightest necessarily, Yeah, but isn't that adorable? It's a happy, nice, this is the kind of small town story you want to read. They call the police, there's a ducky and it's kids and it's... you're right. I mean, it's a corner.
Yeah.
To get out of a corner, you just basically walk forward.
And why couldn't the person just walk the duck?
The Polish ducks. I guess you have to convince them.
How do you convince them? Come on, guys.
bread. You know, like,
Yeah.
I honestly I don't know. If you ever tried to go near a duck or a swan, you know they can be attacked. You know, you go near their children, and Mama Duck is gonna take her bill.
What does chicken say?
Fuck a duck. Oh, chicken, that's not nice. And they don't always get along. It's a different species thing. Oh. Caller, where are you? Oh, I got the poop phone. Uh-huh. It's not a real piece of poop. Caller on 28th Avenue said their new upstairs neighbors have been stomping around and, quote, making the ceiling shake.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. So, new neighbors, old roaches, I think, is basically, but like, boom, boom. Another call. Yeah. Hello. I'll get this on this chicken phone here. This is from 13th Street. A man was walking around with a gun in his hand. Okay. Man wasn't pointing it at anybody, but the caller was nervous. Again, this would be a call. I would probably.
Maybe it was related to the first story you mentioned.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this guy in the dash is like, no, not going to kill someone, but I like walking around with a gun. I like it on my dash. I like my gun where I can see and feel it. I think I'll go into the Howard Johnson's and have breakfast with my gun. I'm gonna go ice skating, and I'm gonna put the gun. I'm gonna tie it to my skate, so I always have a gun near me that I can see. Because I'm a Republican from the NRA. All right, a caller. Oh. Here comes. I'm going to do the ribbon phone here.
Ooh,
Special phone. A caller on 2nd Street. Reported a rotten smell. Oh, no, I was nowhere near 2nd Street. I promise you. The rotten smell had been getting worse over the past handful of days. The caller had heard a gunshot a few days earlier and thought it might be related. Police arrived on the scene.
Oh no, was it?
And they attributed the smell.
Cantaloupe?
No.
Garbage?
Worse, more.
Dead skunk?
Not worse, but.
Someone's recycling?
In a manner of speaking, nothing to do with gunshot, nothing to do with anything. It was a nearby porta potty business.
Oh!
What? They gotta go. I always wonder what they have to take the cisterns.
That poor person. Oh God.
What a job. You know, you think working at that JBS plant is bad.
Don't they have like a vacuum that does
it?
They
must.
I hope.
Because somebody's got. I mean, what do? You go in.
I think they have a vacuum.
And they just go. Yeah, but you still. Vacuum doesn't really clean.
I taking them away the other day.
Yeah. So maybe they got to take the full thing out.
Please, David.
This is the phone call that came in. It's not me. It's not like the lunch I make. All right, here we go. Another caller. Where are you? A hotel on 29th Street reported many men coming and going from a specific room. The caller was concerned it involved either drugs or prostitution. I checked the hotel's advertising specifically notes free Wi-Fi, drugs, and prostitution with a 3 a.m. check-in.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not a Marriott. I can tell you that.
Do they have a continental breakfast? That's the real question. Uh-oh.
We have another alert. We have an alert! Hold on. We have an alert, ladies and gentlemen. God. That's just brutal right there.
I can't hear what you're saying.
We have an alert here, and this is a new one. We haven't had this before. This is an MYOB alert, a mind your own business alert. This is when someone is reporting something or sticking their nose into a place where there's no business.
Oh, I'm afraid of this already.
Yeah. Well, this is a caller on 11th Avenue.
Yeah.
Reported his upstairs neighbor, with whom he shares a mailbox.
Okay.
Which is already like.
That's weird.
Had a jury summons that the neighbor had been ignoring for several days.
You can't tattle on somebody.
Exactly. This is an MYOB alert. And it's like, you're literally going to get your friend arrested for not responding to a jury summons, which, by the way, I'm sure you have like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, but also,
before
like,
you...
that's up to them, right? That's
Yeah.
their own personal business. Like, if they don't want to do it, you can't.
Well, actually, no, because as a citizen, you are obligated.
Yeah, but you don't know what's in that envelope.
Well, you can. I think the jury thing you can kind of tell. You see from the right from the open. Like, remember what we got in the mail yesterday?
Okay. Don't say it.
Don't say it. Wow.
No,
No.
it's not ours to say. It's embarrassing for the person. Yeah.
All right. Anywho,
Oh.
so that was our MYOB. This is not only our news bell, but our.
No,
This is our elsewhere goat scream.
Hold them to the microphone.
No, here we go. Oh, yeah,
Get it off screamers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want me to help you?
Oh, there we go. That's it. This is the scream of the goat that lets us know that it is time for an elsewhere, which means that even though this is Greeley Times and these stories, most of them are from Greeley, Colorado, we also do stories from elsewhere around the globe, elsewhere in America. Just one story that is weird, crazy, ridiculous news that we want to share from you, and so appropriate considering the way that we started the broadcast with making fun of the Olympics and all that. This is from Los Angeles, California. It's a story from United Press International. Now, here's the deal. I've never watched America's Got Talent, but maybe I should start. Here's the deal.
Why?
A Queensland, Australia man attempted a world record on America's Got Talent. We've talked about Guinness before and Jonesy and all of that. Well, Australian native Nick Manning was trying to break his own Guinness World Record for, what do you think he was the record was for?
Hours on film.
No.
Farting?
No, but you're in a good region there.
Dancing?
Not dancing, no.
Sitting on ice?
Involves sitting, sort of.
Sitting on, like one of those musical chairs.
No, not quite. Involves, well. Who knew, it's one thing when the world's tallest human, remember when world records really meant something?
Yeah.
Like, world's tallest human, Wadlow, or fattest guy, these things. And then, now you start thinking of, longest gyro sandwich. It's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Biggest pancake, yeah.
So, right, yes. Well, this man, Nick Manning, was breaking his own Guinness record for the most pairs of underpants he could pull on in 30 seconds.
That's a skill.
And I guess, yes.
If you ever have to change at the gym, that's pretty much a record. You can change your clothes.
Now, he managed only 20 pairs.
Oh.
Not enough to beat...
Maybe Joey Chestnut could go into that now.
You think? Well, actually, he would have to lose all that weight in order to have a waist skinny enough where you just go...
No, I think it's just the quickness of yourself. It has not to do with your size.
Yeah, but if you have to pull your underpants over like a belly, it takes extra time, doesn't it?
I don't think so. I think it's just pulling them up.
Yeah, I would do extra large maybe, if that would count. I don't know if they'd stay on.
I think maybe they have
rules. So he managed only 20 pair, not enough to beat his own 23 that he got a year ago. Isn't it? Yeah. However, thance to the help of the audience.
Oh God, yes.
Remember at the Australian
yes.
America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, maybe it was our America's Got Talent that he was on.
Yeah.
Manning, who, by the way, is a father and a part-time author.
He
did break it. What, sorry?
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, he did break a record. Most people gathered in one place while wearing underwear on their heads. New record now stands at 1,026.
That's cute. Well, they were in clothing, I hope.
Oh, yeah. It's not that they were naked otherwise.
That's very cute.
I mean, yeah, because I guess they distributed all these underpants to the audience to make a funny thing while he's doing all this.
Oh, that's cute. I think that's cute.
Manning does hold the Guinness World Record for the fastest time to put on 10 pairs of underpants.
Oh, really?
13 seconds. That's fast. That's like just barely over a second per underpant.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah. And most underpants in a minute. Back in October of last year, he hit 44 pairs in 60 seconds of putting on undie pants.
Oh, Love it.
And yet, and this is the tragic, really sad side of the whole story here. Manning was eliminated
Oh, what happened?
from America's Got Talent when all 4 judges, Howie Mandel, Heidi Klum,
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara, and Simon Cowell,
Oh no.
voted him out. Oh, I'm sorry, you are out.
Well, sometimes those shows are tough. They're not supportive of people. We know that.
Now, if they had a show where Heidi Klum was taking off 20 pairs of underpants, this I would watch. But I'm hoping he tries again. I'm hoping he goes for like 25.
You think he's discouraged?
No. Someone like this is not going to be
Does he
discouraged.
make any money off of this, or he just does it for personal gratification?
I don't know what
The motivation.
the job market is for people. Like, so what are your skills? Do you type 25 words a minute? Do you short? No, I don't know short. How about how are your computer skills? I know a little bit of MS Word, but it's the old DOS version. Well, what can you do? Well, I can take underpants and put them on really quickly.
He could work in like a changing
Factory.
room.
Yeah.
He could work like in a changing room. He should work in a daycare.
Yes.
He could do diapers really quick. Yeah. I mean, imagine he could diaper all the kids, and that'd be good.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good job.
And he probably would be good at factory labor.
Some kind of repetitive,
Yeah, but I'm pulling for you. Well, he's pulling for himself, but I'm pulling for you, Nick Manning. I hope he turns up and does, because let's face it.
It's an easier record to beat than being on the air for 175 hours.
God,
I think that's like an easier game to play.
But I wonder now if it's like, just create things like, how many underpants in 2 minutes? How many underpants in 10 minutes? It's like, okay, fine, you'll have the world record for whatever. How many underpants in an hour?
You should, I'll look it up. How do you create a Guinness World Record?
Yes.
Because you could do one too for like.
I could do something really stupid, because nobody's thought of it before.
Let's see. How do you propose a Guinness World Record?
Here's a summary from Guinness World Records. How do I apply to set or break a record?
Yeah.
1. Register for an account. 2. You will receive an email with an activation link. 3. Click on the green Apply for a Record button. 4. Search for the record that you want to break. 5. When you find the record, click the Apply Now
$5 to get your title.
6. Complete the application form.
Oh, look.
What?
It says, what's the easiest Guinness World Records to do? Look what came up.
Now, listen to this. 17 world records you could break tomorrow. Most times jumped into a pair of underwear in 30 seconds, but it's not really easy to do.
Well, you could try and practice it.
Most push-ups with claps.
Oh, I've done that. I love that. I love that.
But I'm sure there's somebody who's done
No, I know.
50.
I know.
Yeah. Faster time to assemble, it doesn't, Mr. something, maybe Mr. Potato
I'll
Head?
give it to you.
Because it has like dots after each, it doesn't give you the whole whatever. But this is trying to break someone else's record.
What's the first Guinness World Record?
Well, was it the world's tallest? No?
Fastest game bird in Europe.
All right.
Hunting. Apply to set or break a record. You could try it.
Yeah. I mean, fastest time.
Oh God!
Yeah,
Here's the record showcase from them. Do you want most popular human body, sports and strength, food and drink, size, gaming? I think you want human body.
Yeah. No, but think about it. I mean, if I could log on.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
What?
Stretchiest skin.
Oh no.
No.
But let's say I tell the Guinness Book of World Records, hey, I'm going to read the Thomas Hardy's The Mayor of Casterbridge backwards, and it's going to take me 2 days, and I'm going to have the world record for reading the Mayor of Casterbridge. What?
Farthest eyeball pop female.
That I need to show that. Hold on. Oh, that's. Oh, I love that. Love that. And no, it's not racist. It's just fucking funny. But yeah, if I was, so suddenly for a month and a half, I'll hold the world record for reading the Mayor of Casterbridge backward. Because I could take a week. I could take 2 weeks to do it. Nobody's bothered to do it, and I'll have the world record. You know, I might even be the record for reading a Thomas Hardy novel backward out loud. Boom.
Oh God.
What else are you
Largest
finding?
mouth and longest fingernails are together. That's like a.
Wow, that's that. Are these the actual?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. There we go.
Those are the people.
Wow. I know some pretty big mouth people, but that's something right there. Where's the finger?
Give it to me.
Well, I got the. I keep losing the thing. I wanted to show the fingernail man.
What'd you do? Oh, most popular records. What do you think the most popular records are? Oh wait, that's
Most popular. That's interesting. Hot dog eating. I'll betcha.
most career goes football, shortest living woman, highest mileage on a vehicle, largest living cat, tallest man, voluntary time breath held underwater, largest snake in captivity,
Oh.
largest alternative methods to
What?
complete Dark Souls. I don't know what that is in game.
See, all right, fine. There's like 3 people even bothering to break that record, let alone to make that record.
Longest time in abdominal push-up.
Oh.
Mm-mm. These are horrible.
Yeah, some of them are not going to be, etc. and so forth. What?
There's 65,000 of them, so you could get in. You could make one up.
You
Why
can
don't
make. I
one
just
up?
said. I told
Make
you.
one up
Yeah.
for your show.
Yeah. I could.
Longest running show with DGB in the title,
There it is. Exactly.
and then make it up.
It would be. It would be. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Most times, a person has pressed the screaming goat in succession.
Yeah.
Too. I'll probably have to get up to like 70. But then I have it.
You could do it. One for your show. Make one. Largest time of doing Greeley crabs in all times.
Wow. But yeah, I have to get the trib involved in that. They have to come up with. I have to go back and get all the old ones.
Well, you probably already succeed. So surpassing.
Most likely. Anyway, let's get back to news items from the Greeley trip. One or two more for Greeley Times on the program. Here we go. Let's see. Got a phone call coming in. I'll do the poop phone. Caller on 27th Street Lane. Ooh. Said that a woman who had recently been evicted from that address had set up a tent in the backyard. Wow. I guess she moved from the train station here.
I like it.
She was evicted, set up a tent in the backyard.
Wow.
You know what? If privileged Marxist college kids can do it, why can't she?
Yeah, she probably needed a place to stay.
Yeah, well,
But she
yeah.
doesn't have. Maybe she's next to the place with the potty because the poo poo doo smell.
There you go. There she was. Of course, absolutely. Let's do one more. Let's go to car washer. Car washer. Yes, because this next call is from a car wash on 29th Street in Colorado. And you'll like this. It involves a man, the caller is saying, a man in a black Subaru
Ooh.
was taking shots in the car and driving around the parking lot.
That's not the owner. No Subaru owner is going to do that. They're too responsible.
That's right.
No
That's
Subaru
right.
owner is going to be doing that. I think that's probably just,
Yeah,
I don't know, somebody took the car, maybe a worker. That's not a Subaru owner.
I would imagine. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
But boy, oh boy, taking shots in the car and still driving while you're literally taking shots. That's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a parking lot. So if there's any way you're going to drive, doing that. But kids,
No, you can't.
don't try this at home.
You'll get arrested.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Especially if somebody, your neighbor's calling the cops. Maybe he wouldn't have been, but if there's somebody going, I'm looking through the window and he's doing Jack Daniels or Johnny Walker, and not the Johnny Walker we were talking about, probably want to pick this guy out. Anyway, my friends.
And he has a jury summons he didn't
Yes. Exactly. And there's a rotten smell in the car that he's trying to get away from. And there's someone in a tent in his car.
Well, that makes sense for a Subaru.
But
Yeah.
he stopped for ducks crossing the road.
Oh.
That's Greeley Times for this Saturday's edition of Dave's Gone By.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi-yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Yeah, baby, yeah. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday morning. It is about 20 to 12. I am Dave Lefkowitz. That is my wonderful wife, and we are here in the Daverhood with still more to do on this 954th edition of the Dave's Gone By Show on this August 3rd, 2024. Not that much more to do. We'll have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to Aroya, Colorado, and we have Dave's Big Dictionary, where I will be talking about the word parry, and that'll be in just a moment or two, a couple of minutes, because first of all, we want to, it's time for the friends of the show. Like our brand new friend, Suzan Owens, wonderful conversationalist. Good travel stories from Suzan. So we want to point you to her website, SuzanOwens.com, and remember that she spells it SUZANOWENS.com. Get her book about numerology and read her travel writing, SuzanOwens.com. Cool. And she's what we now call a friend of the Daverhood. This is someone who has been on the program in months and years past. And we see them as family. We like to keep tabs on them, let you know what they're doing, these friends of ours of the Daverhood. Wow. They're getting jiggy with that. There we go. Alrighty. Here are the friends of the Daverhood, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, we're letting you know. Actually, give us one little fanfare, though, for someone that we both know and love. Congratulations to Michael Grossberg.
Speaking of underpants.
Yeah. Not going to tell that story.
Speaking of underpants.
No, but Michael Grossberg, really cool dude. Theater critic.
What happened?
In Ohio. He is retiring after 50 years.
Wow.
Many of them spent at the Columbus Dispatch in Ohio. I think he won a major award last year, too, for all his years of really good theater criticism and paying attention to Ohio and Cleveland area theater. So yay for Michael. It's a shame that, he's going to go into his twilight years now and not be part of that scene anymore. But I'm sure you can find tons and tons of his reviews of Ohio theater.
Oh, no, that's that.
Wait, what? Sorry?
Right here.
Oh, yeah, he must have a wiki
I'm
page.
reading my critic. It just says a Houston native based in Columbus, Ohio, award-winning journalist, film, theater critic, who's worked since the 1970s, Texas, California, Indiana, and Ohio. Yeah,
Michael Scott, I've known him now for about 35 years at this point from when I became a critic. And he's always been very active in the American Theater Critics Association, very involved in their trying to choose best play categories for awards that they give towards the ends of seasons. So yay for Michael Grossberg, our friend of the Daverhood. I want to let you know that today, in the Hamptons, if you're out there on Long Island, Jeff Harner is going to be singing Cole Porter songs in this new place that they're kind of using for a cabaret out there called LTV Studios in the Hamptons. Check it out. Jeff Harner singing Cole Porter. That is tonight. Also tonight, or maybe today, Tamara Toomey, the actress, is co-hosting the International Black Theater Festival out in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. Excuse me. Congratulations to John Giler, the playwright, because he's just extended the run of his play, The Rosenberg Strange Fruit Project, that has been playing at 59 theaters. I think we've got now another week to see it. It's playing through August 11th. Playing through August 17th out in Ogunquit, Maine, at the Ogunquit Playhouse, it's Kathleen Turner playing Madame Armfeldt in Sondheim and Wheeler's A Little Night Music. So go see her in that. Playing now through September 8th, and probably going to move after that. They're looking for...
This is Michael Grossberg.
Oh, Michael, yay.
You as an English teacher.
Wait, I don't get it. Wait. Oh, he posted this. There we go. Kind of hard to see here. Can I come in? Is that? Oh, I guess that's. Was that deaf? I don't know. Can? Oh, I get it. As opposed to may I?
Yeah.
Cursing quietly, the vampire backed away farther again by the English teacher's pedantry.
Yeah.
No, I did have an English teacher who did the can may thing, as if anybody cared,
Oh, here
and
we
I
go.
ended up caring.
I love it. The Dark Side of Hamilton. Yay! I like Michael. I'm reading his. I'm trying to find out if he wrote about his retirement, but I don't see anything.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if he's done that final like farewell
I don't
to the
see it
readers
in
piece.
His Facebook, but maybe
Yeah.
he's done
Well,
it in his.
Look at the Columbus Dispatch. See if
Oh, okay.
his most recent writing for the Dispatch.
Michael Grossberg, Columbus Dispatch.
And like, what's the last thing he posted?
Oh, it looks different here.
Anything good? Or
No,
anything?
it's just his writing.
Hmm.
He's thanking people. It's not
Is that? Oh.
Michael Grossberg, Columbus Dispatch retirement.
No. Oh.
Real time now.
Well, maybe by next week I'll look it up and see what the last play he reviewed was, or if he literally did a summation thing of like, it's been great to be your Columbus area critic for 30 years and so forth. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, Cats, the Jellicle Ball, which nobody had any hopes or anticipation for or anything. It's this reworking of the Andrew Lloyd Webber, not Tim Rice, but T.S. Eliot piece called Cats. It was a huge hit on Broadway. Everybody wondered why. And now and people love it. They've been turning it into like a drag camp performance thing. And apparently they've brought whole new life into Cats. So they're doing Cats the Jellicle Bowl at the Perlman Center on Fulton Street. And it features our great friend Andre DeShields, Tony winner. So the reviews have been so good, you know they're really going to try and move this, if not to Broadway, certainly to a more standard off-Broadway house so more people can see it. Katie Huffman is directing, this is her first big directing assignment, the musical Empire at New World Stages. That's running through mid-September. Aladdin is at the New Amsterdam Theater and features music by our friend Alan Menken, who also wrote the music for Little Shop of Horrors. That is off-Broadway at the West Side Theater. K.T. Sullivan spends her Tuesday evenings at the Algonquin, singing and playing. That's 59 West 44th Street, by the way. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks, 2 shows on Monday evenings at Birdland. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they do a show on Tuesday evenings at Birdland. And, of course, Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. Michael Garin, he plays piano at the Roxy Hotel in Tribeca. That's Tuesdays through Saturdays, kind of like a real New Yorky place to sit and have a drink and listen to Michael Garin. What else? Who else? Seth Biesenhirsch does Seth's talent showcase. That is on Tuesday evenings at Don't Tell Mama. Evan Seplow is the founder and editor of StageBuddy.com, a website of New York nightlife. Give a shout out to Dr. Demento for still doing new Dr. Demento shows every week at drdemento.com. Plus, our close friends of the Daverhood that we just haven't had a chance to bring back on the past few weeks. But David Sheward, theater critic who writes for TheaterLife.com, CulturalDaily.com, and TotalTheater.com. Leslie Hoban Blake, who co-hosts Two on the Aisle with our friend Charlie Gross, and Vicky Quaddy, who's out in Chicago performing and setting off different crews to do Late Night Catechism and Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun? Well, those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Whoa. Yeah. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've got stuff to do in the Daverhood still. It's like 10 to noon Eastern time. We'll probably go a few minutes overtime today, but not too long, because really we've only got 2 more things to do here. We have Dave's Big Dictionary, where I talk about a word that came at random. Actually, Merriam-Webster found it at random. They do this every day now. And I'm going to do that as well as, of course, the Colorado Limerick of the damned. So, my friends, today's Dave's Big Dictionary has to do with the word parry. This is the one that they've chosen, Parry, and it basically means, I'll read the Webster's definition again. It's a verb, of course, and it means to ward off a weapon or a blow, and then it also means, though, to evade, especially by an adroit answer. So there's a sense of defense to it, but also offense a little bit. I suppose it's not just, I've got a shield, but this shield is going to make your sword bounce off me and come back and maybe cut you a little bit. Thrust and parry for what we call Dave's Big Dictionary. Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary. Yeah. So parry, man. I've never fenced. Okay, so I've neither with swords or goods. You know, I get this down here so I can kind of lean back and chat more casually with you. But no, I've never done it. I've kind of fencing is something I would probably try if they have those little blunted tips. But there is, as my wife was showing me before, so many different positions for this and that. It's literally dancing, and I have no capacity for dancing. So fencing is pretty much the same. I would get into the initial stance. I'd figure out how to put my feet, but then I'd never be able to get back into it. So I'd be completely, utterly useless at fencing. Certainly not in the aggressive thrusting way. Parrying, I would just be like, no, you know, and then would just not be able to manage that. But parrying is my business when I think about it. If it's an adroit comeback to something, you know, everything I do as a passive-aggressive person and as a comedy person tends to be parrying. It is my whole existence, is hearing something that is either directed at me in either a normal or a comical or an aggressively offensive way. And then the kind of, ha-ha, you say this to me, well, I say this to you. What is the most, and I will go through this in my head. Like if I'm seeing, you know, a protest against, for something, and they feel the opposite way that I do about a certain issue, what is the most nasty, hurtful, hateful thing I could possibly say to them, right? Because sticks and stones break your bones, words will never hurt, but you can hurt people with words, you certainly can. So it was one of my waking dream things, one of my daydream. Other people daydream about sex, they daydream about food, they daydream about other things, getting a better job, and so I daydream like, if someone confronted me and they were on the other side of this political issue, what is the most, you know, gut-churning, hateful, disgusting thing I could possibly say to them that would make them, you know, shudder or cry or make them even angrier so I could get even angrier because I enjoy getting angry. It's like, what could I hit them back with? And of course, it's not the sense of me attacking first. There's always me having to be the attackee. There's got to be the aggressor first for me to parry with a verbal thrust, but in a less confrontational, violent way. That's what all comedy is. Comedy looks at something that's seemingly normative or put forward as normal and goes, you know, I mean, what is the phrase, that's what she said, but a parry? It's literally hearing like, yeah, I don't know if that thing's gonna go in all the way. That's what she said. Boom, thrust, deflect, parry. Bring it to comedy. You know, so parrying is my comedy business. It's what I always do. Unfortunately, I'm not the most generative. So much of what I do, whether I'm writing songs or poetry, is reacting to what's out there or making fun of something that is already there, a genre. when I was in college, my film to get like my degree in one particular course to pass the course was a parody of Jean-Luc Godard films. I did a fake thing that was influenced by Breathless and 2 or 3 things I know about her. Godard had to do these things first. They invent them and then make these boring, terrible films that I could make fun of. But he had to do those boring, terrible films first so that then I could parry.
Interesting.
Yeah. So instead of a coffee cup, where you see for 10 minutes and where you're just looking into the swirl of a coffee cup, I showed a toilet for 2 minutes. But it took, parrying based on rather than inventing. So
parrying is a response. It's not
exact parody and parry.
Yeah.
It's even in the word par.
Yeah.
There's coming back
Parody.
at. Yeah. Deflecting, knocking away, knocking down. That's where I always go. It's where I have to go. And I can speak certainly to an extent for Rabbi Saul Solomon. It's what he does too. He'll find something that's out there supposedly in the news or what these people are saying and thinking and going, no, ha, 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 funny. But of course, the funny is holding a sword with a dagger in it. That's my take on the word parry and how I use it. So, yeah, there's really not even that much more for me to talk about that. I think I've hit it.
That's great.
And that's Dave's Big Dictionary for this Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost noon, not quite. And we've done so much, haven't we? We've had, we're going to table Bunyan Watch until next week. But we, oh, you going to get one of those things, or? Oh, the clock on the wall is saying just about noon. And we've had Suzan Owens in the Daverhood. We've had Rabbi Saul talking to her. We've done our dictionary. We've done Greeley Times. We've had, what else have we had on the show? We were discussing the Guinness Book of World Records and the Olympics and the dead serial killer Morris Solomon. So yeah, and the deer unable to poop and watching a deer sphincter open and close and open and close and open and close. How can we top that? What else could we possibly? Oh, I know. We can have a poem. We can end in a classy way. We can end in a literary, beautiful, poetic fashion by having our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. A limerick, of course, is a short poem, only 5 lines long. Well, you'll hear it from the intro, but it lends itself to humor, as Edward Lear found out. It lends itself also to the risque and the naughty and the evil and the dirty, all of which you'll hear in this week's Colorado Limerick of the Damned, because we're going to Aroya, Colorado. I'll tell you a little bit about it as we do our limerick.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain, Colorado, Colorado.
Now, I know you're thinking that I'm mispronouncing it or mischaracterizing it, and it should be Arroyo, Colorado. But no, this is something else. This is Aroya, 1 R and an A on the end, Aroya, Colorado. And all these weeks we've been doing these ghost towns. This is rather different. This is it is rural, but it is an unincorporated Colorado community. Actually, it is kind of a ghost town, sorry, in Cheyenne County. And it was originally called Arroyo, which is the Spanish word for gulch. And it is named, or was named, after a nearby gulch. But they kind of fiddled with the name, and now it's Aroya. It was founded in 1870 by railroad track layers, putting down the tracks, who then moved it over 3 miles to be closer to water. Why they didn't just kind of that first day, guys, it's just 3 more miles. We can smell the water from here. Let's just go. Like, no. They founded a town and then moved the whole thing. All right. And you can still see, because it got kind of like a big town. You can see Aroya's old airfield, a cemetery, and a one-room schoolhouse in the town, because there was a ranch there called the J.O.D. Ranch, founded in 1883, and it's still going. So it isn't really a ghost town after all.
No, it's not.
Yeah, in fact, the airfield had been a private one for later ranch owners, but then they plowed it because they wanted to grow wheat, which didn't really work out for them. Anyway, a writer on ColoradoGhostTowns.com said that he visited the town recently. He went there to Aroya, Colorado, to see the old schoolhouse, to see the thing that's still going there, the cemetery, and he came across one after another shed rattlesnake skins. So he was kind of glad that he did not go in the spring or the summer when he wrote this, because apparently rattlers are there and they're pretty active. It could have all been one skin, he said. They do a lot of shedding. So it could have been like the same rattler or two leaving all these skins. But still, if you're clomping around in Aroya, Colorado, I would be rather careful. I would be extra careful when you're listening to a poem about Aroya, Colorado, because it is our Colorado Limerick of the damned. I took out a girl in Aroya who kvetched that I wasn't a lawyer. When she stopped her bitchin', we fucked in the kitchen and did 69 in the foyer. If you want to complain, you know where to go. Dave's Gone By at AOL.com. Send me hate mail, and I will parry with hate mail on my own. Or send me happy, nice things. I would love those too. Whatever you want to send to me or tell me, davesgoneby at AOL.com is the email address. You can also, of course, message me right on this Facebook page or send me a direct message on the
Nobody should
Facebook
have been
page.
here because you didn't do Bunyan Watch today.
Oh, I did not. Yeah. No, we're going to table Bunyan Watch till next week. Probably go back to story time next week as well. But Dave's Gone By at AOL.com is the email address. Facebook page is Dave's Gone By, as you well know. Don't forget, I mentioned this before, davelefkowitz.org. When I was reading the lyrics to my song, The Kosher Hot Dog Picnic, those are all available at davelefkowitz.org. That is not the site for my archives of the show. That's just for my writing, the interviews I've conducted, theater journalism that I've done, plays I've written, song lyrics, davelefkowitz.org. Now, if you want to have the archives, you want to find out more about this radio program at work, this podcast program, davesgoneby.com is the place to go. Literally, you can listen to our very first episode, the radio show, back as we did it on October 7th, 2000 or was it October 5th? Now I have October 7th in my head because of the attacks. But it was October early, 5th, 6th, or 7th, 2002. We did our show. And the audio is online at my website.
That's amazing.
And the show that I did 5 years after that. And 10 and 15 years after that. We've saved virtually every episode that we have ever done, whether it was just video, or just audio, or video included. And we do it every week. So, literally thousands of hours of Dave's Gone.
You got your next guest.
Of content. Well, I can't read that from here. What is it?
Your next guest is gonna. The cabaret person says they can do September.
Good, excellent. Okay.
You have to read your response notes.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Thank you for that. So, davelefkowitz.org, davesgoneby.org, and then we also put our archives, the same stuff, on archive.org, archive.org. And we have nothing to do with this website. It's a not-for-profit that gathers up art and culture and literature and entertainment from hundreds and hundreds of years, as long as they either have permission or public domain, and make it available. If you want to read a great classic book, it might be there.
You're doing your show.
Thank you.
I put a little image. You can put notes over your thing. I did that.
Cool. So that is on archive.org. We have a channel there, And all our episodes and all our interviews are on there just like they are at davesgoneby.com. Plus, we put our audio archives on castbox.fm. That is a place for podcasting.
I wish you would bring back the quiz.
Do you?
I liked it. Yeah. Do it before school starts.
I really should. I want to bring
I enjoy it so much. I miss the people.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Let me think about it, either for next week or the week after. I think that'd be a very cool thing. All right. So, yeah, if you want to hear what my wife is talking about, we, for a couple of years, did a segment called Today Yesterday, the Today Yesterday quiz. It was a trivia quiz, and we had friends of ours that we mentioned before, David Sheward, Vicky Quaddy, Ronald Rand, Leslie Hovan Blake, lots of recurring characters. Steve the Whistler was part of that too. So yeah, we'll bring it back. I needed a break from that, and also especially because I got kind of real busy. But it may be time to bring that back. We'll see. Bring lots of stuff back. But if you want to hear the archives, there's all these different places. davesgoneby.org, the Dave's Gone By channel.archive.org, castbox.fm for audio only of the archives. And of course, we have a YouTube channel. You want to check that out too. All different ways for really a lot of the same material of Dave's Gone By. Well, it's a bit after noon on this fine August 3rd afternoon, 2024. We are finishing the 954th episode and looking forward towards the 955th of the program. Coming up in a week or two, we have a fabulous, fabulous interview for you coming. Musician, longtime veteran musician, co-founder of a band called the Bongos, and also a solo artist for many, many years, as well as a record producer, as well as somebody who's involved with the Anthology Film Archives, like a really, really cool New Yorkie dude with tons of stories to tell about the music business, about making music, songwriting in New York. His name is Richard Barone. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, we've got a treat in store for you. It will probably be next week, but I'm juggling a couple of different guests. So just check the Facebook page and davesgoneby.com to make sure and figure that out. But yeah, coming up very, very soon, Richard Barone in the Daverhood. You do not want to miss that. Anyway, that about does it for this episode of the show. So I want to thank one more time Suzan Owens for being with us and telling us about her website, SuzanOwens.com, and her book about numerology. Check it all out there. Thank you to Rabbi Saul Solomon and his website, ShalomDammit.com, for his rabbinical reflections, for his interviews, for his episodes of his TV show, as well as footage of his entire off-Broadway show, Shalom Dammit, an evening with Rabbi Saul Solomon, all at ShalomDammit.com. Well, anything else? Anything else that we need to?
That was great. I look forward to see who the next guest will be.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen. One other thing I want to mention is I want to do a thank you, whether we end up hiring them or not, whether we use them or not. But there's a company out here called Able Electric. Able Electric. They went with the letter A, so people would call them, right? Because we need some electrical work done ever since we've had our tankless hot water heater put in, right? And so we're getting estimates, we're getting quotes, we're getting people. And we've had one of our minor electrical things, this is nothing to do with the tank, is at some point we have little lights that are under the cabinets in our kitchen. We're not talking about the overhead lights and the track lighting, whatever that is. We're talking, for some reason, the way they built it, a cute little thing is, you can put on this pretty string of lights that are tucked under the bottoms of the cabinets, right over the counter, over the stovetop of, our kitchen stuff. And for a while, one thing went out, one bulb, and the bulb has probably a bad circuit, and we couldn't, no matter what we did, we couldn't replace it. And then suddenly all the bulbs went out. Couldn't get any of them on, flipping the switch, jiggling, doing this, doing that, nothing happening. We get one person who's in the house to do some other work, and he has no idea, and he figures it's going to be this whole wiring thing. We ask another electrician. We had another electric person in here last week working on thinking about giving us an estimate on the big thing we got to do with outlets and stuff. And, doesn't even really talk about want to deal with it. So I Zoom call the guy from this other company, Able, and I'm giving their name, Able Electric. I Zoom call the man and say, hey, we're just getting estimates. We want this work done. We need circuit breaker probably. We need this, that. And by the way, FYI, something we're thinking about, we don't really care. It's not that big a deal, but we have these lights that are under our cabinets that have gone out. And it's one of those things where we've heard that when one goes out, it's the whole circuit, it kills it. Can you just, can someone fix it? It's not going to be a ridiculous amount of money. And he tells me, and this is via Zoom. We're on a Zoom call. I'm cradling my computer, trying to show this man the layout of the thing and of our kitchen. And he says, all right, look, can you go where the lights are and see if there's like a black box or something under the, I'm like, what? It's nothing. It's just a string of little baby lights. What are you talking about? Right. And he said, all right, do me a favor. Can you check under the sink? And I said, sure, I'll look under the sink. And lo and behold, to the side of the sink, there's this fairly big black box. And I say, is this it? He said, oh, yeah, that's it. Is there a red button under the black box? And I'm like, I look and there's an orange thing, and it's not a button, it's a switch. He's like, can you just flip in the switch? And I flip the switch, flip it back, nothing happens. He said, no, wait, now, just flip the switch one more time again. And all the lights went off. He said, yeah, you've got your box switch under the sink where you're probably moving whatever you keep, the cleansers and things.
Yeah.
Somebody probably hit their hand against the switch and he turned all the lights off. And immediately I was like, you're hired. Because it was like, he saved us God knows how many, probably a couple of $100 of someone coming here and pulling it out and saying, or knowing in their heads, as, oh, there's just a black box. It's too stupid to know there's a black box with a switch under it. Well, just yeah, we tinkered with your black box. No, this was a guy who's like, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Fixed. This is a mensch. This is a good person. So depending on where his estimate comes in, we may very well hire this fella to do some of the other work. But yay for that. That's the kind of thing I would put on Yelp and Angie's list to say.
Do you want me to order your bacon bagel because it's getting late?
All right, well, let me finish up the show and then I'll deal with food. I'm sorry. I don't know if I want bagel yet. I don't know if I want a poke thing. Not necessarily feeling the poke bowl thing. Or no, I might want a banh mi sandwich. Let me think for a minute. I'm not sure.
Want to go to the taco place?
Oh, I have a coupon for Taco Bravo.
That's not there though. I don't think. It's like a weird.
Oh, give me like 3 minutes to finish the show, and then we'll talk food. But thank you again to Suzan Owens. Thank you to my darling and wonderful and adorable wife. Thank you to the guy from Able Electric. Thanks all of you for watching. Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
No, put him to the speaker.
Oh, gotta do the megaphone thing.
Turn it on.
You've made this day a special day by just your being you.
Oh.
Absolutely. Thank you, Fred.
Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, and of course, if you can't be good, be Arthur. I've said that 4 million times, but I mean it. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching episode 954 of Dave's Gone By. We'll see you in a week with 955. Until then, don't miss your Dave's Going By. Have a great one. Let's hear it for some more rain, yes, and some lower temperatures, not yet, but it's coming, and we'll see you. We'll see you real soon.
Days gone by, they're gone by. Days gone by, they're gone by. Days gone by, they're gone by.
You know, they say uneasy is the head that wears the crown, but I'm feeling pretty easy.